Hello and good evening, everybody. I am Jimmy Chips here in the booth at Prime Social. We're at 7801 Westheimer. Tonight we're going to be playing 510 No Limit Hold'em with no max buy-in. Just got a new follower, Joe Avaro. Thanks, man, for the follow. Welcome in. We got Josh here in the booth with me today. He's a poker player himself. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh. I'm just kidding. Good to be here, Jimmy. I don't know about poker player, but I sure try.
He tries. Well, we all try. We all think we're pros. At least me, anyways. But then I go to a table, lose a few hundreds. Like, why am I not rich right now? We got a full game with people waiting. So if you want to get on the list, just call up here. Tell our hostess you want to play the live stream, and we'll get you on the list. If 510's too much for you, we have 1-3 Hold'em games going, and we have an Omaha game going as well. As we see them. So what we're watching is a 30-minute delay. All the stuff that you see on the screen has already happened. There's no chance any of the other players can see any hole cards. We don't even see the hole cards live. All we see is what you guys are seeing. We're going to do our best here to give you some good poker action. Seat open PLO. Andre, get on down here. There's definitely a seat open with your name on it. Playing 1-2-5 Omaha. But right now, we're talking about 510 No Limit. Looks like we got a straddle going on the first hand from Brian.
Yeah, I play in a game sometimes down south with Brian and over here a little bit, and I think he likes to straddle quite a bit to get the action going.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think players are going to start out kind of slow, get their feet wet. That's the way I do it. I always fold the first few hands. Unless I just have a monster, then I just go in. Hammer says he is on his way. Justin Hammer. Get on down here. Hurry up, man. We're waiting on you. Ches in the 3 seat's going to open up with Ace Queen off. 3-bet to $55. Folds all the way around. Got Lay action tracking. You see Lay all standing there pushing buttons on the tablets. She can't see hole cards. She is just making sure the action goes smoothly and that we can read all the cards the players have. And we're all ready to the turn. Ace Queen slightly. Ace Queen is behind. I didn't see that 4 that flopped there for Brian. Eight on the river bricks. Both players. Pair of 4s is good here.
Yeah, so a little bit surprised. I often will see Brian go ahead and bet for thin value on the river. 3 players. Maybe just wants to get the showdown.
Yeah. Maybe his first time playing with Jim. Not sure what cards he's into.
I like playing with Jim. He has a non-linear range for sure.
Non-linear range. I've played with him a couple times. He's pretty straightforward. He bets when he has it. If he c-bets and then checks the turn, he might not have, is all I'm saying. Andre says, Neil is the sickest player in the lineup. Well, we'll see as time goes on. That was just the first hand. Check us out on Poker Atlas for live updates and to put yourself on the list. Or you can email Serena at primesocialtx.com.
So I know that Hammer posted on Facebook and maybe Twitter today about maybe running some big games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can talk about that now, or do we want to wait for something to get here?
I think I heard a rumor about a 50-100 game going to be here tonight.
Interesting.
So what would be the buy-in for that? If you need 100 bigs, 50, 100, 10 grand? Jeez.
Yeah, I think you need 100 bigs. I mean, I think people would be sitting a lot deeper. It's definitely bigger than what I generally play or have ever played. But for the right lineup, I might jump in there.
Well, you never want to put your whole bankroll on the line. Non-linear range. Bring that thesaurus. We need educated people in the booth here, Hammer. So bring it with you so that you can use really good adjectives for your dad jokes.
It's actually why I signed up to work tonight.
Man, I haven't heard that word thesaurus in a long time. Some people could probably mistake it for a dinosaur. What kind of dinosaur was that? A Thesaurus Rex?
All right, I thought we were going to wait for Justin for all the dad jokes.
Oops. Oops, 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 oops. And King Jack takes down that hand.
I forgot we had poker going. Should look up at the screen now.
And you can see your chip counts on the screen there. No one with less than 1,000. Top stack's at 5,000. It's a scam, Bill. What's up, man? Welcome in. We're playing 5-10, no limit hold'em with no max buy-in. Come get you some. Looks like the straddle's out there for 20.
It looks like we had the 40 straddle on.
40 straddle?
I think so.
Oh, man.
I think they
You guys
talked
are
him into
nuts. Yeah, this is already way too much for me if I'm going to sit down and play.
Yeah, we got the mystery hand from Neil. 4-bet, in this case, was an open to 140.
Josue has a fan out there. Neosar says, go, Josue. He's in this hand. Oh, he was in this hand with 10 deuce. He probably folded pre-flop. It's our action tracker lay, keeping track of all the action. So we have two mystery hands. Antonio with the 6-5. Oh, no, just kidding.
So it looks like Neil bets 375. And does get the fold. Curious what he had there. All right, they have left me alone in the booth. If you're in the chat, say hello. I am a newbie, so take it easy on me. All right, we were shuffling some folks in and out of the booth. I think I missed some of the action. I think I recall Neil betting about 375 and the 9-seat taking it down. So nice pot there. Okay, it's a scam in the chat. Who's commenting tonight? So Justin Hammer, tournament director extraordinaire from Prime Social, and I'm guest hosting. This is Josh Burkhalter, just a local Houston recreational player. Did get lucky and run really well recently at a Prime Signature Series. So they thought I knew a little bit about poker and asked me to come in and hang out for a bit.
It's a scam says, who's commentating tonight? It's me, Jimmy Chips, with Josh Burkhalter. And you're going to have Justin Hammer in here in just a moment. In about 5 minutes is what he says. We'll see about that. Guys, if you don't know, we're going to have a summer series similar to the World Series. It's the Houston World Series anyway, starting May the 20th with our kickoff $200,000 tournament. And our $1 million main event, flights start June 2nd. And in between that, we're going to have a whole lot of fun, guys. So come on out starting May 20th.
And Jimmy, where can they find more information about these events?
You can find it on Poker Atlas, or you can go to our website, primesocialtx.com, and click on Summer Series.
All right. So Jimmy mentions, I think he's being a little bit, what's the word? Humble when he says a $200,000 opener. I think it's a good chance that thing hits $500,000.
It wouldn't surprise me if it did. So for our last series, we guaranteed $500,000, and it got all the way up to $1 million. So it wouldn't surprise me if we doubled all of our guarantees, honestly, even the $1 million.
Yeah, I think double and triple on some of these would be really reasonable. We're seeing that all over the nation now. People are itching to get back and play.
Neosaurus, no, I am not playing 510. I'm not that good. I would get nervous on a $20 bet. Everyone would see it and then raise me. And I would be just throwing money away. Burning it to the fires. Keon, one of the God favorites, Cornell. If you're just tuning in, we're playing 510 No Limit Hold'em. The action just started with us, but we've been playing for about an hour now. We're on a 30-minute delay. If you want a seat, come on down. So one of the main events, or one of the better events I'm excited about in this series is the TOE event that got canceled during the last one due to the freeze that happened. So we're bringing it back, along with the horse, 2 classic tournaments. Should change his name to Jimmy Small Chips. Yikes. Savage, hammer with a sick needle.
I don't know what a kneader is, but I do not want to ask for clarification.
I think I was trying to mash hammer and needle together. Uh-oh, Pop Bruin. Jose wakes up with 2 queens in the small blind. Let's see what Reagan decides to do with his 5-4 clubs.
Yeah, I'd expect him to peel here. He's got to assume the 4-better has a nice premium hand and can get a lot of value if he hits the flop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Well, I don't think he's going to be folding now.
Yeah, I always find it interesting, right? Bottom pair and a flush draw and a backdoor straight draw, and you've got 50+% equity in the hand.
A favorite to win, but still technically behind. Some neaters need thesaurus. Was that English? Some neaters a thesaurus more than me? Man, English is hard. It's a real tongue twister. Wow, Josue bet Reagan raised it to 650. And an all-in for Josue there. I'm going to put Reagan to the test. How does he feel about his pair of 5s now, do you think, Josh?
I get a feeling he's going to go with it. I think he knows what we're seeing, that he's got 50% or so equity, and he's got so much invested in the pot.
What would you do in this spot?
I'd call.
You call?
I'd take a moment and call.
I mean, he's already invested $600 into this hand.
Yeah, he's got to put him on Queens Plus, and if he's got Queens Plus, if you look at the pot odds you're getting, I think you're getting the right price to call.
Nice.
You don't like it, though.
You don't like it. With a pair of 5s, you just don't. And he's in there.
Yeah, I don't think it took him too much thinking.
Josue is wondering if he can run it twice. Looks like that's okay. No help. And the first board is going to go to Josue. Queens and 7s. And that's going to lock it up. Yes, 5s full of 7s. It's going to be a chop. So for those who don't know what just happened, when you run it twice, all players must be all in first of all. And then each board is going to be worth half the pot. So it came deuce 7 up top, giving Josue queens and 7s. And then it came 5-7 on the bottom, giving Reagan 5s full. So they'll just chop that one up and move on to the next hand. Players do that to sort of, lower the variance on them?
Yeah, I mean, basically, whether you run it 1 time or 2 times or 3 times, I mean, you're just spreading out the risk.
Gotcha. But all in the end, it all evens out to where it should be.
It does. You know, some people like to me, what it feels like is kind of playing games. They want to see if they're behind or ahead and let that dictate their choice. But me personally, I prefer once.
I'm with you on that one. One time.
Yeah.
We came here to play.
Yeah, let's gamble, right? No, but for me, primarily, it's because I want to not incentivize other people to get in light or get into gamble. And this is especially true in PLO where, you know, people want to be in, 3 or 4 ways. And if there's that one stack at the table that just never runs it twice, they think a little bit longer about, ripping it in bad. So
Yeah.
But yeah, going twice or 3 times it's always good when you want to protect the bankroll, and maybe you didn't bring enough funds to buy into a big game a few times that night.
Yeah. Can't change variance. Ain't that the truth? Oh, let's see here. Jack 10 for Antonio. Pair jacks. Neil and James both with hands we can't see. That always adds a little fun to it for us when we don't know the hands. Try to put them on something.
So is it James or Jim? I thought he goes by Jim.
His name is James, but he does go by Jim. Yes.
Okay.
They should have put him in there as Jim. Bet and the call. Joe with legit air fires $70. Oh no, he calls $70. Maybe he's hoping for running straight and heart cards. Not sure he's going to feel too good about a pair of 4s on the turn.
I like the optimism.
Yikes, and he bricks both of his pivot card options.
So we see third pair and open-ended continue to tell the story. Looks like Jim with the mystery hand is going to continue. Okay, Antonio does get there with the king high straight. I want to see a fairly large bet. It's a great pot size bet. We get the fold from Jim, so maybe a little disappointing, but Jim can have a lot of 2-pair hands. He can have top pair bad kicker, which sometimes we'll call a large bet. So I definitely like the large river bet when you get there.
Everybody, Jimmy Chips here signing off. We've got the Justin Hammer coming in to commentate to take my place. He'll be in here in just one moment. Thanks for tuning in for me, guys. We'll see y'all later.
All right. Good seeing you, Jimmy. So just in the first few hands we've been watching, have noticed that Reagan does like to, as they call it, mix it up. But you can see his strategy is to play, some suited connectors, 1-gappers, disguise the strength of his hand when he does hit a flop.
All right. What are we doing? We still saying big words that I don't know? Linear? What's up, everybody?
What's up, Mr. Hammer?
Good to be here. We got some good stuff going on. I'm excited. I was watching in the car on the way over. I wasn't driving. Don't worry. I wasn't texting and driving. The missus was driving, but man, hear Jimmy Chips in here, Josh Burkhalter. I heard your voice is just so smooth. Smooth as butter. Beautiful. What's up, chat? What's up? It's a scam. Hammer time. That's right. In the house. The last comment I see is my own. That means y'all aren't talking enough. Let me know that you're here.
I wish you guys could be here. I think Justin's about to break down. Do some break dancing.
My phone's dead. I was watching the stream in the car, so now my phone's about to die. I'm trying to find a charger.
So I don't know if we can promote certain brands. He's got the 3-Stripe brand.
Yeah? Yep, that's right. Come on, let's go. Break it down.
Got the Never Fold pullover.
That's Antoine. That's his brand. I got this before I ever even lived in Texas.
Oh, really?
I got this from him when I was a LA guy. Speaking of LA, that's Aaron. Aaron's a LA guy. He came out here to play because I invited him.
What's Aaron's last name?
Queskin.
Okay.
He bagged day 2 over there, so he's killing some time, waiting for his next day to play.
Okay, I saw him post on Twitter, I think, and you replied and said, "Hey, that's a nice little stack you won in the 1-3 game, but you come out on Friday night."
That is correct.
All right.
That's what we do. We got to get people into the game, right? Aha! I got it. All right, it's charging. We're good. Let's see. We got a Jim, Josue, Neil, Reagan, Brian. All right. We got a nice little lineup here.
So is there anyone here you're not familiar with, Hammer?
I don't think so. Some more familiar than others. And Lay doing the action tracking. She became a little rock star. That's how you know we're on a 30-minute delay. There's Josh right there coming in, checking it out. How's this work? What do we got going on over here? You're going to see a similar thing for me in a half hour from now. I came in. I gave everybody a nice warm welcome.
Tell you what, I much prefer to be doing voice and not TV appearances.
Yeah. No, you and me both. There's a reason. We're back here.
What is this?
Because we got a face for radio. That's why.
All right, so Joseph's got open-ended and a flush draw. That's 100 on the turn. How about keep having mystery hands from the 5 and 6 seats? I don't know if Jim and Neil are trying to be conspicuous or...
Yeah, the way Jim has his cards right there, I imagine he's not sliding it over. Sometimes the reader doesn't get them very well, but sometimes it is user error as well. But
well, look at Reagan in the 1 seat. Reagan's a pro, right? So
he knows
where to put him.
He knows. We do have brand new cards coming for the summer series. We got these cards aren't cheap, man. They cost a little something. But we are preparing for lots of stuff to happen during this summer series.
So Joseph looks like he gave up on the river, opened the door for Jim with the mystery hand to vet out and take the pot. Oh, no.
Reagan wins with the queens.
Okay.
So Reagan called. Whatever Jim had, it didn't look like he wanted to show it. He just put it right in the muck. Yeah, you'll find you gotta ring me in, like keep me under control. I'll just start talking. I'll go off the rails.
No, go for it. I've been in here 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and I'm still trying to follow the action.
Yeah. Well, that part it comes to you. It takes a little bit. The TV's big. Look at that. VPIP James 71% VPIP. I always say when James is in here, I can't believe it's 71 because that means he found 29 fold.
Yeah, I told Jimmy I enjoy playing with Jim or James. does like to play a lot of hands, so that's definitely my style. Not to give away too many secrets.
Now do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Mic check.
Okay, there it is.
All
There you
right.
are. There it is. This Phil. Producer Josh. Saving the day again. Producer Josh. He's more than a pretty face. He also has a face for radio, by the way.
I think he's a good-looking guy.
He's a good-looking guy. He's a sharp dude.
You have a lot of good-looking people here at Prime.
That's one of the benefits of working at Prime. You would think that we had like some kind of filter in the audition process, but we really don't. We hire the best, and many of them happen to be good-looking. And then we also have me here too. Lots of good-looking people and Hammer. That should be our new slogan. I guess I was wrong. He looks pretty confident with his arms crossed, I think. Oh, God. TWL? Twelefty? Twelefty? Trying to get a read. Oh, it said Jim looks confident with his arms crossed. I think that's just how he sits. I don't think it's a tell. I don't think it's a confidence thing. We got a bomb pot going here.
So if you're in the chat and listening, which you would be listening if you're in the chat.
I would hope so.
All right, let's.
Sometimes you're just watching. Sometimes, they don't want to listen. It's possible.
So for those that are listening, type into the chat where you're from, and if you guys play bomb pots, where you're from.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed following a lot of poker, like poker Twitter and poker just social in general. A lot of people are traveling out here to play that big tournament that's going on down the street, and when they're not in the tournament, they're playing these bomb pots. They're like, this is the greatest thing ever. These PLO double board bomb pots. Like, what is this? It's like a Houston drug that people just, or not a Houston. I think it's a Texas thing. I don't think it's a Houston thing. It's a Texas thing.
Yeah, maybe we can get into more detail about this, but there was a big WPT event going on last week and through this week, and we've got a hometown hero that's advancing to the final table of 6.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of people that came in from Florida directly to Houston, and if you believe poker Twitter, Houston was all the buzz, right? Lots of action, right? Lots of not folding is what I heard.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how they're enjoying the games now that they've gotten here.
The way the good Lord intended. Less folding. Vancouver, Canada does not do bomb pots generally, but very rarely in select home games, people are not really interested yet. Okay, so you got one. Vancouver doesn't have a lot of bomb pots. I know it gets a lot of credit for like starting, but did you know I have a bomb pot tournament cache on my Hendon Mob? Did you know that?
I did not know.
I did. They did at Run It Up Reno, they did bomb pot tournaments, and I cashed in I want to say 2019. I cashed in one of their tournaments. So I know it's a thing, and I mean that's obviously kind of a more fun thing. That's not like a super serious environment, but they exist, and I know that Live at the Bike they do bomb pot they do bomb pots every once in a while, but they don't do the double board. They just do one board bomb pots.
Yeah, so a lot of variation, right? So there's Hold'em and there's PLO varieties. I prefer the PLO, even though that's not my game. If I'm going to do a bomb pot, and we're all going to see a flop anyways, and we're going to have double boards and all kinds of crazy, let's have 4 cards.
Absolutely. Although it's just so much more tilting when you get 4 cards, and then you get 10 board cards, and you don't hit any of them. No pair, no draw, just how do you miss? How do you give me 4 cards, and then 2 sets of 3, and I can't connect with any of them? Yeah. Super frustrating. And we see a straight flush draw here. King High. I think King High is the best hand. King High versus Jack High. James is going to check. Neil, super excited. Look, I did it. I did it. I bet without a made hand. I did it. Look, guys, I did it. See him showing Aaron there. Aaron said, wow. Bluff. Never seen one of those before. Aaron's a good player. He played a lot of my tournaments when I was in L.A. He was a regular at all of the L.A. tournaments. You see him post a lot. He has a trademark chapstick that he puts in all of his pictures. But super nice guy. He's a business owner. He has a couple of bars and restaurants that he owns in Huntington Beach. The Hangout. God, good.
Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach, California. Yeah,
Fun place.
that is a fun place.
I rode Donald Duck in a bar in Huntington Beach. I don't know if it was the Hideout or Hideaway or something else,
The Hangout. Yeah.
But I crawled on the bar. I handed out shots out of a bottle to about 35 people.
Yeah, you did.
And then I rode Donald Duck.
Wait, what does it mean, road Donald Duck?
So you know, like these little kid things, like outside the grocery store when we were kids. And
yeah.
You put the quarter in and you go on a ride. Well, this was Donald Duck, and
Okay, it was inside the bar.
It was inside the bar, and I took a ride. So
That sounds.
it was.
But that kind of sounds like the ending to like a really good story. Like there's got to be a lot. Like that's got to be like chapter 10.
No.
I want to know 1 through 9.
It was the turn, right? It wasn't the flop of
Okay,
the river, right?
okay.
So, okay. So I slept until 6 p.m. I was supposed to go to Disneyland with friends. It was her birthday. I didn't make it, and she was mad. And so by the time I'm up, they're not answering their calls or my texts and calls and whatnot. So I went to Huntington Beach and I found a bonfire and met new people. And so, yeah, Donald Duck was the turn. And on the river, we went and had like a 24-hour donut shop, right? All these fancy donuts. I think maybe like Voodoo Donuts is like a chain that people might be familiar with. So This was a private owned one, line around the block, 4 a.m. type thing. I pick up a dozen donuts. I think that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to buy a bunch of donuts, and this is going to make my friend not mad at me.
How'd that work?
So
She better be a big fan of donuts.
So I'm in Huntington Beach. I get these donuts. I get my Uber back to L.A. And I took a bite of each donut on the way back.
I ate some.
So I wake her up and I tell her that I brought her donuts. And she's like, I'll get them in the morning. So in the morning, she's even more mad.
Yeah.
Because all she had was, half chewed donuts. So. I didn't.
That was like a plan that was kind of shaky from the beginning that got a little shakier when you decided to eat the donuts that you were going to give away. I still feel like there's more to the story. I want to hear it. Might need to take it off the air. We saw Aaron just busted Jim there while we were talking. He made the nut straight against a set of 10s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's why Jim, he left some chips there, so I imagine that means he's coming back.
Yeah, sometimes you like to walk it off, go to the cage yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good way to, like, force yourself. Ooh, set of 7s. On the river for Joseph there. Already had the best hand, but now feels even more confident.
So, do we think Ches is thinking about bluff check raising, or is he up to no good here?
Calling with ace high, maybe wondering if Joseph was checking the flop in the turn with nothing and then thought he had a chance to take it down there. Maybe he could beat just 10 jack type of hands, king jack type of hands. It's tough for me. This is the worst thing ever is when I call trying to catch a bluff and they were bluffing with the best hand. Mm-hmm. Like they got a better ace. They're bluffing, but they have ace 10. It's better. Oh, he had a pair of deuces. Oh, okay. So any pair would have been. I thought he had ace high. He had a pair. We also only have casinos. Card rooms are illegal, and casinos must give percentage of revenue to government, so are highly regulated under lottery regs. Yeah. I don't know. Part of me thinks it's better. I don't know, to have more regulations. It's safer for players if it's. I don't know if I want it to go that far. I don't want it to be so regulated that we lose our bomb pots, but like well, a little bit of regulation would make it a little better, I think.
Yeah, so I think regulation to the point of protecting players' interest.
Yeah.
And maintaining a fair game.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough. And I think what I hear a lot of players in Texas are worried about is if you regulate it, then you're going to have, it's just going to open the door for big organized casinos to come in and try and take over. And then we're not going to have this, small game feel that we have, which is great. And it's a great part of Texas poker. So I'm a fan of something in between where we have some sort of regulation for social clubs. And I don't know. I don't think we need big casinos to come into Texas. I think this social club atmosphere, I think it's good. It's thriving.
Well, yeah, I think it's a matter of, what is the intention, right, of, I don't know, like whenever Texas got its independence and then became a state, but they've got a constitution. What was their intention? Was it to prohibit gambling among friends? Or was it to just make sure that, there's not someone who's taken a large profit from the players and really no one's winning at that point, right? So I think the intention is to let poker thrive. People are having a good time. They're not losing their house, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, that's a little different than full-fledged casino. Not that I'm against them personally. But, it's a big leap from, facilitating a poker game to full-fledged casino. I don't think that we have to take the full leap.
Yeah, I agree. We got a hand here. Reagan has aces and Brian has 2 10s. We just saw on the last hand when Brian had ace-king and Reagan had ace-9 suited that Brian, he 4-bet that pot and Reagan folded.
So these guys have played a lot of games together. They both know that the other's capable of 4 and even 5 betting fairly light.
I think I see 4 bets to 2,000.
Is that a typo?
We went 80. I think that's got to be a typo. He's got, that looks like 5 black chips. I mean, it could have been. I see Lay over there talking to Serena. Maybe she threw in an extra 0 there or something. It looked like it was 500.
Yeah, so Reagan made what I'd say is kind of a normal size re-raise there. Interesting for Brian being in position, knowing their dynamic to go ahead and let go of 10s. Obviously a good fold.
Yeah, Brian he's a solid player. It's tough when it's cold outside. He's got to wear a sweatshirt and then the guns stay packed away. Like normally sun's out, guns out. This is a good game. I'm hoping we get a big game going. Rumor has it there's a 5100 in the works. I'm excited to go stand on the rail, just far enough away so that I don't get tempted. I heard you saying if the game's good enough, you'll jump in. I'm worried that my body will tell me, oh yeah, that game's good, you should jump in.
Yeah.
Then I just gotta tell my wife I dumped 10K. And whoops.
Yeah. So Jimmy was curious. What do you think the minimum or normal buy-in might be for that 5100?
I don't think it has to be 10. I think you can make it 5,000. 50 bigs.
So the question would be, anyone going to put the 100 on, or the 200, or the 200 or the 400, right?
Definitely. So, I have always found my experience in poker, you want to find the loosest, best action. It's the biggest games. It's the leap. You're going to find people that are playing somewhat tight from 1-3 to 5-5 to 5-10. You're going to find a lot of similar people. You want to see the most off-the-rails, crazy, loose players? You add a few zeros to those numbers, and then things go crazy. One of the best games I ever dealt where it was, you would have thought they were playing for Skittles and Sour Patch. These guys were playing 1,000, 2,000, no limit, with a 500K minimum buy-in. And those chips were splashing. It was a great game. These guys are dropping, obviously, billionaires don't mind losing, hundreds of thousands. It's chump change. It's like when you have a Josh Burkhalter playing 1-3, like a man with just unlimited buy-ins. The chips are gonna fly. Player of the series, Josh Burkhalter. I heard Jimmy stutter on your name when I was coming in here. He's like, Josh. Oh shit, I forgot his last name.
That's okay. I don't know Jimmy's last name either.
Chips. That's all you gotta know with Jimmy is Jimmy Chips.
I will be happy to remain anonymous as long as possible.
All right. I won't tell anyone who you are.
So how late do we run this game tonight?
We typically broadcast till about midnight. If something crazy happens and like this game just turns into 1,000, 2,000, no limit, we just go. Then we'll keep it going for y'all if it goes a little crazy. But yeah, typically we go till about midnight. Then we raid somebody, or as I like to call it, raid. Look at this. Ace, king, and 2 queens. Man, see, that's what they're holding off. They just wait till I get in the booth, and then bam, the cooler hands come up.
Yeah, and these guys have been playing less than an hour, and at least Reagan and Brian now have already been in several 3 and 4 bet pots. So yeah, there might be a dynamic starting to build here.
And you gotta feel like, and it looked to me as he raises here, right?
Yeah, so looks like Ches comes in with the 4 bet. And that's the cold 4 bet, as the kids say these days.
The cold 4 bet. And are those 2 500 chips? Did he go to 1,000? Yeah. Okay, so maybe that was 2K earlier, because that's... Oh, this is a fun hand. And Reagan... I mean, these guys know each other. They don't hold back from each other, obviously, but they know each other's games. They're buddies. But they have just had, like, this is their 3rd hand where it was at least 4 bet and they were both involved. It's got to start to feel like there's something more going on.
Yeah, so the worst spot for me right here is to be Brian, stuck in the middle with what is really a drawing hand.
Yeah. I mean, especially in a cash game.
And you don't expect Ches to be getting out of line with a 4 bet. So I think Brian either has to rip it in or fold. So I think if Brian folds here, we could see Ches just flat or move all in, not expecting that Reagan would fold a whole lot. Okay, so that's what happened. So Brian does fold. Okay.
They both folded? Oh, wow. 2 ace kings going in the muck. Man, that's why. It's things like that where I just say, man, I'm glad I'm in here in the booth with Josh, not having to try and fold ace king, losing a buy-in. It's better because I'd end up back here anyway. I would lose the buy-in and then I would come back here. It's better to not lose the buy-in, walk by, say hi to the people that I know, and then I'm like $4,000 richer. I feel like I just made $4,000 by not having ace king in that spot. Drinks are on me.
I'll take a ghost.
Coming right up. Check this out.
So Justin's got the concierge phone out. Take the bat phone to the bar.
Can you get...
So while we're just kind of watching the action, maybe just a comment for those that do play smaller stakes. 1-2, 1-3, whether it be your home games or you're playing out at some of these social clubs like Prime. You're probably going to see in this game a lot more 3 and 4 betting. I think as you move up the stakes, you start to see players willing to put a lot more money in. You really want to charge other hands. You really want to put a lot of pressure, as we saw in that last hand. So Queens wasn't afraid to put in a 5 bet to 100 big blinds, and we got folds out of Ace King. So very interesting dynamic, maybe just to watch out for.
I'm still putting in my order. I'm here. Look at that. Josh is just instant pro. He knows to take over when I'm ordering him a beer. Sending out the link on Twitter. Boom. Okay, we're back. Two jacks for Brian. I feel like, wow, look, and Ace King. Two jacks versus Ace King. Does it feel like there's been a lot of hand versus hand going on?
There's been a lot of hands. So Reagan straddled to 20. Brian opens sort of on the small side with jacks in early position. Neil just flats. Always curious to see how Neil plays. He can go completely nuts or play a hand like Ace King fairly conservatively.
Yeah, he had one in the last stream that they had on here. Neil did. Against Dirty. That's how I know. Dirty kept posting it, but he just called. He limped Ace King, and then when it got raised, he just called. Flopped a king, and then got all the chips in. Dirty had King 4, and it was King X4. And they played a very large pot. Ran it twice, and Dirty got them both. Let's see, we got a straight draw. Jack would be a fun card. James goes all in with the I'm not putting my cards over the reader hand.
Yeah, and the action tracker actually went over to him a moment ago and mentioned something.
There you go. Oh,
it was something.
There's me. Speaking of action tracker, it's my fault. Now I'm the one distracting her. Look at that. That's right. Bro hug from my man, Aaron. Oh, you know what? I remember Aaron was talking to me, but he was also, like, towards the end of this hand. Watch this. He was like, oh, what's going on? He just wanted to see what was going on. I realize now it's because he had that 10-7. He's trying to figure out if his 7 was good. His spidey senses were going off.
Interesting here, Reagan. Yeah, I mean, he's got the original pre-flop opener behind him, so Brian, so he's in just a brutal spot to get squeezed, and so he lets his go.
And James had a pair and an open ender, and he hits the 9 for the straight. Gives him the win. Maybe it was that walk. That walk that did it. Just cooled off, reset a little bit.
Hey, top pair and a straight draw. I mean, it's, as they say in Texas, it's hard to make a pair in this game.
Yeah, it is
and
tough.
And have a backup plan to go with it. Let's get it in there.
Oh, look, we got some chat going on. Will there ever be a PLO stream? Yes, we do PLO streams about once every 2 weeks. So check your local listings. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. Get notified when we have our games going. It'll let you know. But we will definitely have a PLO. Adam Weinrob in the chat. I'm hanging out with Aaron Queskin. Hang out in Seal Beach. Awesome place. Adam Weinrob is of WPT fame. He produced a movie called oh shit, I'm gonna mess it up. You shouldn't have changed the name of it. 7 Days to Vegas. You ever heard of it? Vince Van Patten.
Heard of it?
Starring Vince Van Patten, Adam Weinrob, producer. Great movie. If you haven't checked it out, you should. And if you produce movies and you come into the chat, I will give you a shout out. Let that be known. Daniel Donk Hughes says, so rich. I think he's talking about you. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Adam, good to see you. Thank you for joining us in the chat. James just, goes right back against Brian, but with aces this time. Because why not? Brian with the pair of tens and possibly a little tilt carryover from the last hand.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. You're right. Look at that face. I think he's more tilted about the fact that he has to wear sleeves today.
Yeah.
Than the hand that he lost.
He's also tilted about the sizing because he probably doesn't expect to be good, but
just can't fold.
You can't fold.
Yeah.
So I do expect to go check, and then you hope
he's just gonna.
Yeah, he's just kind of begging for a call. I don't think he gets a call here from Brian.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's the fun part about the way Jim plays is you never really know. Oh, yeah, he shows him.
As if he didn't know.
Yeah, Brian says, Gets to celebrate a little bit.
So one of the things I was looking forward to tonight is I want to see thin value bets on the river.
Yeah.
I want to see people just go for it.
You see it in this game, man. Some of these guys, they do it to a point where I don't get it. Every time I try for thin value, it's too thin. It's the same thing. I imagine it's the same thing that would happen if I tried to walk on thin ice. It just falls right through. Do we have a 7-deuce game going? Oh, I guess not.
So that reminds me. So last week, I showed up to play late on the stream, and there was a 7-deuce game going.
Yeah.
I folded 7-deuce at least twice.
Yeah.
And then I had to pay it out, and I didn't even know they were playing it.
Oh. You see, there are certain games, and I hear people talking about it, and I think they were talking about it on the stream even, where you could be playing the 7-deuce game hoping to benefit by somebody trying to play 7-deuce into one of your monsters and make big bets. It's good to encourage people to try and bluff. Doesn't mean you have to go crazy every time you have 7-deuce. But I played the 7-deuce game on the stream one time. I'm playing 5-10, just trying to get the game going before I come back here and do commentary. So I only played for that half hour. I get 7-deuce suited on the button, 1 limper. Everybody else folds to me. I make 1 standard raise, and everybody folds.
And so you got paid from everyone.
I got paid from everyone. It was great, but
that's how you draw it up.
Yeah, I didn't have any of the bad parts. I didn't have any of the sweats. It was just I raise 1 time, everybody folds, and I get there. That's why it helps to be such a nit. People think I'm just gonna fold the 7-deuce anyway. I won't even play the game. I can't have 7-deuce. Santonio wins with top pair there. Summer Series coming up. Last series. Have we mentioned that you were player of the series at the last series, man? Have we mentioned that yet?
So we were trying to remain as anonymous as possible.
Oh, whoever this guy is in the booth back here, he looks a lot like the guy, this dude that won player of the series in the last one. But we're going to be doing that again. We're going to be running that promotion back. We're going to be doing a $25,000 added player of the series. Tweaking a little bit of the things that people didn't like about it. You won't get unlimited points for entry. You'll still get entry points, but you won't get unlimited. So we're going to cap them at 2 per tournament. We're going to put a hard cap on the satellites, but satellites are still going to count. They are a part of the series. You want to win your seat to the main event. We are going to do over 80 seats worth of satellites by the time this main event starts.
So that's 80 guaranteed.
Guaranteed, yeah.
That number could be 150.
I imagine it'll be more than that, especially I have this thing I'm working on. It's top secret and it's not done yet. But if it gets done, as soon as I'm able to unleash it, floodgates. The players, they're just going to...
What can you tease for our viewers today?
More seats. more seats, like physical seats, like places for butts to go into.
So
More of them, more comfortable ones, and more of them.
So we're not talking 12-handed tables, though.
No.
We're talking just
No. You will see, and I am a fan, and it's not a regulation thing, but my day twos of my big tournaments are always 8-handed because I think that's the way. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's the way the good Lord intended. 8-handed poker, playing down. I do have, man, we got some stuff in here that I haven't even gotten to talk about. Some, like, just crazy, out-of-this-world ideas that we're going to do for this series. Oh, I'm excited. I don't know if you could tell. I'm excited. Kickoff event is $200,000 guaranteed for a 360 because Aaron will tell you that's what I'm known for. Missing guarantees.
Well, I think that one's going to be 400 to 500,000.
I hope so.
That's my prediction.
These are 360 200K. We did a 300 100K with more starting flights than this, and we missed by 18,000. It's a different time. It's different things going on. This is a different tournament. I'm with you. I think we can smash some of these tournaments. We're going to have a lot of low buy-in, high-value tournaments. Look at the schedule. Check out primesocialtx.com or go to our Poker Atlas. You'll be able to see that schedule. The structures will be up by the middle of this week. We're working with a new site designer, so we're switching up the way that we give everybody this information. But it will be out soon. Brent's in the process of finalizing the hotel deal, so if you're looking for that information, check back on the site later this week. It will be there. We're going to have a satellite into the main event every single night. $180 buy-in, and then do $200 buy-in later on in the series, but don't worry, that extra $20 all goes to the prize pool. Same tournament. We're just able to give out a few more seats that way. We've got another bomb pot going as Jimmy, not Jimmy Chips, the other Jimmy, Louisiana Jimmy, Knowledge Jimmy, gets into the box. H-Town 2. The H-Town 2. Jeff Fielder, the winner of the first H-Town, he is in town right now. He told me he was going to come play this stream, so we might get a view of him. Last time he was on the stream, he was the final person to yell, "He gone!" He was the very last one. He did it, knocked out the player in second place, won the tournament outright. We got the H-Town 2 on the way. H-Town 2. We're doing something unique with this tournament. 300,000 guarantee. You see this second chance turbo right here? Second chance turbo.
I see it.
$200 while the PLO championship's going on. So here's what we're going to do. Every person who plays the H-Town 2, you get knocked out, you're going to have a chance to get back into the tournament. Yeah. Follow me here. This second chance tournament, here's what happens. The winner of the second chance tournament, once they get down to the final table, we're going to play down to 8 instead of 9. Play down to 8. Do a redraw. The winner of this turbo tournament into the final table at 9th place. You get a second chance. You get to go back into the tournament. You're going to match the short stack or get 10 big blinds at the final table. $200 tournament. Only the players that played the H-Town tournament are going to be allowed to do it. It's the second chance. You get knocked out. All of them are going to come back and play this tournament. They're going to have a chance to get in. The money from this tournament is going to go to match whatever 9th place is. So it's like you win that tournament, you're guaranteed that much money, but you can still win the H-Town tournament. You got to make a hefty comeback.
Interesting.
You ever heard of that before? You ever seen something like that before?
I have not. But regardless of whether or not I've heard of it, the idea that a poker tournament has to be the same as it's always been.
The same is boring.
Exactly. Let's do some weird shit.
But I mean, for me, H-Town is about the beauty of Houston. It's about the things that make Houston unique. That's why we got the He Gone. That's why we got the prize, the trophy. It's going to be an autographed poster of some Houston legends like we did the last time. We've got starting stacks that are based off of Hakeem the Dream's stats. We've got all kinds of things to talk about how great Houston is. And to me, something that Houston does, they go through, like they have a freeze, they have a hurricane, they have bad things happen, and what happens? They come back. They come back stronger. They recover. They get another chance. They do better the second time around. So we've got the second chance turbo. It's a H-Town thing. It's a Houston special. Get back into the tournament, come back in, have a chance to win.
I'm speechless. I mean, I've got nothing to say. It's interesting.
Well,
Okay, so let me understand something. So I win or whoever.
yeah, of course.
Not
Yeah,
me.
no, you can. You
I mean,
can.
I'm
It's not even hypothetical when you say it. Like
I'm not
you win
Babe
all the
Ruth.
tournaments.
I don't call my shot. Right? but so let's say I run like the sun again.
Yeah,
And I win the second chance turbo.
yeah.
I win first place prize from that tournament.
No, you
Or-
don't win. You don't win anything.
Okay.
You get $0.
Okay.
You get into the H-Town tournament. You're back in at the final table.
Okay. Which is minimum 9th place money on a $100,000 $300,000 guaranteed event.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the idea for the second chance tournament is to build a prize pool that makes it enough so that you take that prize pool and that becomes the 9th place money. So you're not taking additional money out of the H-Town prize pool to pay the 9th place player. The second chance tournament, all that is for is to put back into the H-Town prize pool. So the H-Town prize pool will go up
Yeah.
by the amount of whatever 9th place would have
Yeah.
been.
So does anyone else get paid in the second chance?
Yes. Anything that is left in the prize pool outside of 9th place. So we're going to do the H-Town tournament. We're going to have a prize pool, and there is going to be a 9th place. Whatever that 9th place is, that's how much is going to come out of the second chance tournament. That is going to be first place. The rest of the money that's on top of that is going to be paid out normally, however we would with the remainder of the prize pool.
Okay.
So it won't be a lot. You're playing this second chance tournament, but look at it this way. It's a $200 tournament. It's limited to the number of players that have played the H-Town tournament. I can't travel in on Sunday and only play that tournament. I have to have played a flight in the H-Town tournament.
Yeah.
It's limited to that number of players, and in theory, it's a $200 tournament that's going to get 200 players, maybe, somewhere in that range. Could get 3, could get 1. I don't know. It's going to be somewhere in that range, and first place could be $100,000.
Yep. Well, here's one thing I like. No chops.
No chop. You can't chop.
You can't chop
No,
this thing.
you can't chop. You can't chop. And they're players. Some of them are going to say, oh, but I've made it to this final table. I've outlasted these players. This is someone that was in the tournament, just like a normal tournament. You play the players at your table. Somebody does something at the other table, and you come together, and you play at one table. It's the same thing.
It's the losers bracket.
It's the losers bracket. It's right. It's the second. It's like when you get those lotto tickets.
I mean,
and you
can we
send them
still
all.
say that in 2020?
I think you have to say the lesser winners. There's no losers. There's lesser winners. Alex Optional in the chat. That's super dope, he says. Alex Optional. Twitch streamer extraordinaire, Alex Optional.
I love giving Alex shit.
I also love giving Alex shit.
He's the only person that pops up at the top of my Facebook, their story every day.
Yeah.
And who is the other commentator?
Wait.
Burkhalter, buddy.
The one and only. The player of the series.
Oh, God, he hates hearing that.
Player of the series, Burkhalter.
So Alex is one of the few people that well, there's probably a lot, that recognize just how lucky I am. And I love rubbing that in his face.
Yeah. As you should. What's the point of running good if you don't get to use it to make other people feel worse about not running good? Sometimes I watch Alex's stream. You want to talk about not running good. Sometimes he's good. He's ready. Like he's got half a Ferta out already, and then it's just like an ace on the river or like running spades or something. It's
Yeah.
fun.
So, like, you don't always win in poker, obviously. No secret there.
You mean like the literal you, like you're looking at me and talking like it's you, Justin Hammer, you, Alex Optional.
In cash games, you have a lot more. You should have a lot more winning sessions than losing sessions. But in tournaments, you lose a lot. And then when you play tournaments online, God, it's you got to have some stones. My whole year, he said.
You do, and that's why he's a grinder, and it's a fun stream to watch. Alex Optional is a friend of the stream. Check him out if you like poker streaming. Check out Alex Optional. He helps us too when some of this stuff doesn't work. He's a savvy electronical person, and he doesn't only play poker. Sometimes he plays this duty game.
Ooh, okay.
Duty.
So
war duty.
Right to this action, right? So Reagan tries to take a stab at this pot. Ches with trip sixes just calls, and now Reagan hits a queen. So, he doesn't love it, but that may cost him a bit more money. He does check. Again, the kids call that pot control.
Pot control.
I mean, just a small bet. So I like to say this is kind of insulting. So you just betting an amount that he just has to call.
Yeah. Always dangerous when the dealer burns and then hesitates. Always a chance of another burn. Always. It's always scary to me. But I was watching High Stakes Poker this year, one of my favorite shows from back in the day, and then they brought it back. And I don't think it's as good, but it's still good. It's still good. But it was JRB. He just value bet. He bets like 10,000 into like a 50K pot, and then Tom Dwan calls, and then he says, you ever want to get called by one of these young kids? You just give them a price they can't possibly fold. Like they know you have them, but they can't fold.
I miss the bricks of cash on the table.
God, like you watch it now knowing what you know about poker and like almost feel bad for those guys because they're like maneuvering around like these just stacks of cash. But I'm with you. I think it's part of what made that show. Like
Yeah, it felt like you're in this old lounge, or maybe you're in someone's back room. Houses have like the formal living room, so like you're in the den, and there's obviously cocktail waitresses and announcers and whatnot, but it felt like a home game. But then these guys are going nuts with $500,000 of their own money.
Yeah. Oh, like now when you're watching it, don't get me wrong, I love Aria and I used to work there, and it's all the staff there is great and they're amazing people. But when someone raises to $150,000 and they throw out 6 of those cranberry chips, it's just not as cool as when they go through like 4 motions of bricks of cash. Just, I'll make it $150,000. Boom, 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 boom. Stacking them. They're falling over. Awesome.
I agree.
Yeah, that was fun.
So Reagan thought about this river bet quite a bit. Large sizing from Ches. Reagan kind of had some spidey senses going off. I mean, good thing he didn't call.
Yeah.
He would have been wrong, but
I think Ches was probably hoping to get called by an ace with the paired board and the big kicker out there. Probably thinks that there's a lot of lower aces that are going to call, trying to pick off a bluff, or maybe thinking that neither of their kickers would play. I bet if he knew he just had a queen, he would have bet a little smaller. But I am also not good at this game. War Duty. Yeah, I think did I do that right? Is that game that he plays where they shoot guns? It's World of Duty.
No idea.
War Duty Craft? Call of War.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. That's the one. I knew for sure that he plays a game full of duty. Where's Matt? He's such a sick dealer. I came a little late and I walked right back here, and I'm not even sure if Matt's here, but I imagine he is probably here. Matt does all the mixed games. So sometimes after mixed game night, like he just needs a chance to, we'll throw him in the box for like 4 straight hours just doing nothing but mixed games. And sometimes you need your brain to relax a little bit. Josue with the ace queen of diamonds here. Neosaurus. I was joking about thesauruses before I came in here. Now we got a Neosaurus. Like, that's mind.
Is this a long-time follower? Or did this person maybe just change their name for us tonight?
I think it's a long-time follower.
Okay.
Neosaurus. Yeah, I think.
I think maybe I should know that, but I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, so he is human. I thought Matt was some kind of dealing robot. He's pretty robotic. Not gonna lie. Matt was dealer of the series during the last series. We were able to have 2 because of players like Josh Burkholder, who there was 11 of them that chipped in $100, so I was able to do 2 dealer of the series. A lot of good that did them. They both busted, but they both played. They both had the thrill of a lifetime getting to play in a main event for a chance at $1 million prize pool. That's coming back too, by the way. The dealer of the series.
Nice.
The dealers of the series is...
They work hard. They should get rewarded. End of story.
I agree. It's a strat, and especially this last one. I mean, they always work hard, but people forget what that freeze did to some of those guys too. Like, it was... Sometimes they had to come in. A lot of those guys were staying at places where the water was completely out. They didn't get to shower for a few days. It was cold. I'm not sure if you know this, but it was cold. Like,
yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many of them, huddled up together, body warm, and that sort of thing.
Oh, I went back that first night of the freeze. When I always joke on here that it was the first freeze out I ever ran that night. Freeze out, and then it froze out. So that's you think Alex Optional runs bad. Imagine having a freeze out when you run a freeze out. But I couldn't drive home that night because the roads were just completely ice, so I went to the hotel down the street. And I saw some dealers there cuddling up. I'm not gonna lie. They were there. They were trying to find warmth. We had some cup of noodles. That was Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day.
So is that the night you cuddled with DJ?
I cuddled with Jordan, but yes,
okay.
yeah,
Right.
that was the night. Yeah, they had one gigantic king bed, and I'm not about to sleep on the floor. I'm secure enough with my masculinity. We cuddled up. I mean, it wasn't weird. I was the big spoon. Don't worry about it.
So speaking of Jordan,
Yeah.
Your buddy.
Yes, he is.
Doing some cool things this week and last week at WPT. What's the vibe coming from that camp with their record-breaking numbers?
It is like shock, awe, amazement, like thrill, just all kinds of stuff. I'm talking to those guys, and it's just like, I mean, they're doing a 25K tournament that's getting 150 entries. Like, they've got lines of people just lining up to spend $25,000 to do a tournament. They have some COVID restrictions still, but
all right. So Justin got a hug from a hot chick. So the booth. How you doing? Oh, right. Hot guys too. Wow. All right, you'll have to give us a minute. We're having a love fest over here. All right, so I think they talked Joseph into coming back to the table and putting the 20 on. They must be playing 7 deuce because Reagan 3 bets with 7 deuce of clubs. Or he's a maniac. One of the two. All right, we're going to get some action. All right, we didn't do anything crazy with 7 deuce. All right, we got Dirty John in the chat. What's up, John? Why are you not in this game, Dirty?
Dirty, why are you not in this game? Like this, I saw last week. I watched you play. You just like licensed to print. Dirty John in the house. He's on the way. He's on the way. He's just realized. He opened his mail. He saw a couple bills. He's like, oh, crap. I got bills to pay. I got to get there. I got to get in this game. On the way. All right, Dirty. We'll hold a seat for you. I mean, there's none open, but we're going to hold it for you. There's a list, buddy. We got like 13 on the list. Get here quick. Dirty John. We'll get you on the list.
Yeah, Dirty, I'll take one. However you like it. Light on the sweetener, please. Anybody in the chat, if you guys haven't had boba tea yet, you're missing out, right? Come down to Prime. Dirty's bringing boba tea. You can get chai and matcha and, I don't know, Haley, what else they got?
Boba tea? They have
Mango slushes. All right. That'll be next on the list. Yeah, the first time I ever sucked on boba tea and got shot in the back of the throat with the I was a little bit surprised. I was like, so I don't know what he's talking about, but he's saying dookie butter. Chan, just quit being dirty. All right, so we get just a call from top pair and open-ended.
Oh, hello, Alex Optional. Yes, it is. I'm here with the Josh.
The Josh. All right, so I would have liked to see Antonio lead river. Check calling, not bad, but I was telling Justin earlier that I really want to see some thin value. I want to see these guys get some value on the river. Like, you can get called by ace king, king queen. Get paid. King jack good. Don't always be scared of the flush that comes in. I also bust a lot of tournaments early, so I may not know what I'm talking about.
Taylor says he's sitting in his hotel room eating ice cream without a spoon. What are you eating, with a fork? Your fingers?
Okay, so would you rather You ever play Would You Rather?
Let's play.
Let's play. So there's a nice young lady that I know.
Okay.
She likes to play Would You Rather, and I enjoy it. I've never played it without her, right? So it's like my game. So she's listening to the chat.
Okay.
Or listening to our stream. I invite her to the chat. Maybe she'll drop a Would You Rather. So would you rather, for the rest of your life, only use a fork or only use a spoon? I know, these are always hard.
I feel like the answer has to be spoon.
Okay. My answer too, by the way. But what's your reasoning?
Because you can't eat soup with a fork, and I like soup.
Okay. All right. Are you like a pho person?
No.
You like your ramen?
Ramen.
Okay.
For sure.
Broccoli and cheese. Okay. A spork. Cheating. Okay. So spoon for me because like I feel like I could even eat a steak with a spoon. Okay. But I can't do so many things with a fork. Although if I have a fork and some ice cream, it's getting done. It's gonna get the job done. So.
We got some 3-bet action going on with the 10-9 suited versus the Queen.
Oh, what a
It's
flop.
an action flop. Reagan's a pretty aggressive player, too, so he's going to bet this every single time. I mean, he's supposed to, but he's betting big.
60% maybe?
I thought that was 4 black chips. Man, my eyes are bad. I was like, why is he betting that much?
I'd like to see a check raise. There we nope. All right. Guess you could go check call turn and check call river. Okay, he did check raise. I'm having a hard time following the action.
Yeah, well, the stack size of Joseph is not correct. It says he's got $23 back, but that's not even close to right. So it's kind of messing up the graphics a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he's got about 1.5, maybe a little more. Okay, well, we do get the check raise all in on the turn.
Yeah, I don't know. Very paired, flushy, straighty draw board, so Queen's ready to get after it. Man, I really want to know how much he shoved for. 5.
So I assume the stacks up there are
500?
500, 600,
6,
11, 12, 13 plus.
1310? 1320-ish?
It's a little over pot, I think. Yeah. Good call with the eat ramen with a fork and drink the soup. I 100% agree.
I mean, that's a good point, yeah.
But can we all agree that there just are some things that you can't slurp from the cup or the bowl, and you do need a spoon for, and then what do you need a fork for, right? Like you couldn't get the job done with a spoon. I don't know.
Oh, Reagan called. Doesn't look like he got there either.
I don't think a 5's gonna do it.
Man, my eyes are so bad. Is it up 5 with diamonds?
Sure. or hearts. So, Haley, did you introduce yourself when you came on?
Hello, stream. My name is Haley.
Perfect. So I was going to ask you, how did you get so Twitter famous? You seem to have a nice, robust Twitter following in the poker sphere.
I don't think I go that far. I just stay out of politics, vaccine, anti-vaccine, and anything else to do with the poker drama scene. I stay out of it.
Okay. All right. So is this the point where I'm supposed to start asking you questions that you have to dodge, or should we just move on?
I don't know.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, like it's been hard last couple of years, especially.
Everybody gets offended about everything.
Yeah.
You just have to say things that can't possibly offend somebody.
She does take amazing photos. The glamour shots implies, a little extra makeup and hair did and all that kind of stuff. I just think she takes great photos because she's doing cool stuff and she's a beautiful woman. So
yeah, if you play poker in the Midwest, I probably have taken your photo before. I took Taylor's picture today. That's actually what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
Awesome.
playing over at the tournament.
So the glamour shot was of Taylor.
It was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Taylor male, female, or some other
I have it right here.
identification? Not to be too political.
There's Taylor.
That's a great photo of Taylor.
I'm actually surprised that Taylor's not playing this game right now. He's a cash player.
Does Taylor like to play bigger games? Because
Yeah, he does.
Hammer's trying to get the 5100 going.
There you go, Taylor. Hear that?
Excuse me, I'm not in the know. I don't. There's no trying. There will be a 5100 game. It is happening at Prime Social tonight.
Oh, they're doing a double board bump out here.
3 spots left. Well, I might have to take one of those, so there might be 2 spots left. You guys have an ATM here, right? Okay. How full is it?
I know the guy that built it.
Oh, they do accept wire and other. You got money, they'll take it. Ray, we'll play a big game tonight. All right, so we're playing. Okay, so we tried to talk about bomb pots earlier. We're playing another bomb pot. This is a Hold'em bomb pot, not my favorite. Not as much action. What's your take on bomb pots?
I really like them, but you can get stuck or you can get very unstuck in a very quick way.
Oh yeah.
Taylor's asking when that game is running.
So Justin Hammer is taking care of some business and we'll be back on in a moment, and he will give details about the big 5100 game tonight. So Taylor, don't go anywhere.
Is it running tonight? Oh.
It is running tonight. Two seats left.
Oh, okay. Yes, if you're offering. Okay. Can I buy it in Bitcoin?
Mm. All right, so we got James in the straddle again with the mystery hand.
Put your cards over the card reader.
Neil 3 bets with Jack Queen off and takes it. All right, Taylor, I don't think pants are required. No, I'm serious. Like shorts or you know what? Just show up what you're comfortable in. You are in a chair. Your legs are under the table.
I wish that stack depth graphic stayed up there for a little split second longer. I wanted to take a look at it. It was kind of quick. Do you like crypto?
Who doesn't like crypto?
Do you have crypto?
I have a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm not being coy. It's just a little bit. I first bought crypto. Not that I was against it, but just never really got into the movement until February of 2020. And I bought some so that I could get money on ACR.
Oh, okay.
And then it spiked, and I'm like, well, if I hadn't put that money on ACR, I'd be like 3 times less poor than I was a month ago. So then I started paying a little closer attention.
Bye, Taylor. I'll make sure to give you a ride at 12:30.
Where do you land on Bitcoin and the other cryptos?
I'm very ill-informed about all of it, so you can't really feel bad about it when you don't know anything about it.
Okay, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah, so my crypto experience began a month ago when I bought Bitcoin at 60K.
Okay.
Then it went down to 49K.
Okay. What'd you do?
Then I sold it at like 52, and then it went back up to like almost 60.
Okay, I think you're playing the game wrong.
Since when does Bitcoin ever lose people money, though? Like, Bitcoin is supposed to make people rich, right? Yeah, I lost money on Bitcoin.
Well, they also call it a store of value. So you got to store it, which means you got to hang on for a while.
HODL.
There's your stack depths.
Sweet.
So everybody's got, except for James in the 5 seed, everybody's got 3K plus. 300 big blind poker is fun.
Alex Optional is talking shit because he wants to give me all the crypto advice and I just don't listen to him. He's tried to give me crypto advice before. Fail. To the moon.
So Alex wants to know what my ACR name is because he wants to go hunting for a fish.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Not happening.
I want to hear it too.
No, total fish. I'm not letting you. What is that called when you're just like hopping lobbies trying to find the fish? I think there's a name for it.
Yeah, there is a name for it.
I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to be that guy.
When I worked at a casino, there used to be these tweakers that would go around and like go to slot machines and try to cash them out and see if there was pennies left in them. We called them buffalo hunters.
All right. I love the chat.
Yeah. Crypto, crypto, crypto.
Seat scripting. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you, Alex. So that's like using a program, right? But like bum hunting. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like generically bum hunting. Yeah. I'm not gonna let you hunt this bum. Okay. and you know, you can
Hunt
take that
this
to mean
bum.
whatever you want.
What tournaments do you usually play? What sticks?
I don't play very often.
No.
But I'll get a wild hair and play on a Sunday. and just fire at things that are like 215 and below.
Yeah.
It's kind of whatever I can handle on my screen.
Those 215s are insane value. They're so good.
Yeah, I love you can get in late reg. I don't know, it's like 15 or 18 blinds, and you're like 20 people from the money. I won't tell Alex how well I'm doing on ACR since he's been running bad this year. And he thinks I'm a total fish. And I'm so lucky. So I'm not doing well on ACR.
I mean, every time that I've ever played with you, I don't know if I've ever played with you online, but I play with you live. You just, you crush my soul.
What?
So.
What? In fact, we can see it on stream. You see this table right here?
Yeah.
You were sitting back there in the 7, and I was in the 2, and I think Chris was in the 1.
Okay.
And I just got crushed that day. And, like, you just, every time I just had a marginal hand, like, you just had a little better one, and you were just squeezing value from me. And when I was bluffing, you caught me. Like, it was like, you obviously don't remember, but it was a bad day for
I
me.
really don't remember that. Every time I see you've got a pile of chips in front.
Yeah. Easy come, easy go. I don't know what Alex is suggesting, but I don't like it.
Ooh. Spicy. This is true. You can't bluff a calling station, so basically never bluff me, because I'm always going to call.
Same.
Oh, seat open.
Oh.
Play.
Get it? Front of the list. If you've announced for more than 5 minutes tonight, you get first in line. So I'm going to ask a favor of the chat. So I have a friend. Her name is, we'll call her Samantha. That's not her real name. And she likes poker a little bit. She's watching for the first time. She's the one that I borrowed the Would You Rather game from. So why don't we encourage her to come into the chat and say hello?
Hello.
That was Haley, by the way. We're calling Samantha. Samantha, come on and give us your favorite Would You Rather. Not the ones with the fingers for D or D for fingers. Let's do a different one.
Why can't we see the cards? You should be able to see the cards.
Yeah, I think we got a few folks that aren't putting them over the readers.
Yeah. Oh, my seat was just taken. Shoot.
There are two. Why did Neil leave? Neil's not one to leave early.
They're playing my jam right now.
What are they playing?
Some Seether with that Evanescence.
Okay. So the house music at Prime, also another reason to come out. Yeah, Neil is definitely a PLO player. The famous Alex Optional is calling Samantha. We need some new Would You Rathers. Can be poker related or not. All right, so we have the wheel. So here's a spot where Justin's back, by the way. Justin, this is a little bit, like some would argue this is thin value. I mean, premium hand, right? You've got the wheel. It's not the nuts by far. It's not the nuts straight. We got monotone board on the flop. But,
Monotone. I got to pull out my thesaurus again. Figure out.
all right. It means single.
Single. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
But the hammer knows these things.
That's true. I do. That was a bluff. I was a bluff. New player. Yeah, you're right. Neil left. Aaron left, right?
Yeah, Aaron.
Neil?
That's the one I couldn't remember.
Take a look at the chip counts there. Everyone hovering between 1 and 5,000. We'll get another player in there. I know we have a list.
You know what I would love to see, Justin?
What would you love to
It's
see?
30-minute delay, right? So
Yeah.
Someone starts playing and then comes in the booth and commentates on their 30 minutes of play.
I've
Like,
done that.
What the hell was I thinking?
I've
right?
done that. But that's what I always tell people is when I come back here, I want you. This is a safe place. You come on here, like I'm gonna talk about how you play your hand, but I'm never gonna. You're in there. You're in the moment. You're making decisions. It's easier from back here, and I know that. So I don't ever make fun of people. I don't put them down, except when I'm commentating on myself. Then
Yeah.
I let loose. That's the only time you'll hear me be super negative about somebody is when I'm back here commentating on myself.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're using it as humor, right? So
Yes.
self-deprecation.
Of course.
It's very endearing. It's why we like you so much.
But yeah, it's fun to commentate on yourself, especially that time I was telling you about where I won the 7 deuce game and I raised the button and everybody folded. I got to come back here and commentate on it.
That's
So like
cool.
I knew it was coming. I had to like keep it under control. Like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. This is it. It's coming.
Back to what you were saying about, safe space, right?
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I wanted to comment, do some commentary was, I will often listen to streams, not Prime's, okay, but others, and I even listened to one this week where, and this is like professional level commentary, commenting over top of more or less an amateur event, and it's kind of critical.
Yeah.
And I can be very critical. Okay, but I mean, like we don't all play poker the same. We don't all have the same background and study and style and approach, and so how am I supposed to judge whether or not it was right or wrong? So I don't like to be binary.
Yeah, well, that's just it. You also don't know people's motivation. Like, yes, we can assume that everybody is here and that they are trying to win, and that's safe. But to what extent that matters to them? Like, some people are here and they just want to let loose. This is how they blow off a little steam. They don't really care if they win a ton of money to the extent that they're, like, trying to make a living. A lot of us have other jobs. We just do this for fun. And, yeah, we would like to win, but it's not so important that we're going to overthink every decision and make sure that everything is linear and binary and monotone and all these cool words. Like, they're just there to play. So those types of people, why would I want them to come here to Prime Social and play on my stream and have me tell them how bad they played the hand? Like, maybe they played it to the exact level of accomplishing the goal that they had in mind when they came in to play today. And if that's the truth, all you could say is you could say that it was bad in the extent that they didn't win, but it was never bad in that you made a bad play or a bad decision. You're here to play. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. I'm here to tell some pretty bad dad jokes and to make fun of whatever game Alex Optional is playing on his stream.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe change it up a little bit, Alex. I hear it's not working well right now.
That's what I'm here for.
He's such a good dude.
You ready? Are we ready for a dad joke? Is it that time? I got one. What does What does a runner eat before a race?
Complex carbs.
No.
Oh.
No, it's a dad joke.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's a real answer.
Simple carbs.
Who knows in the chat? What does a runner eat before a race?
You got me. I don't know.
Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. Fast food. No, that's not the answer. Do you know why it's not fast food? It gives you the runs. So you can't eat fast food before a race. This is a dad joke within a dad joke. It's dad joke inception. Your mind's about to be blown.
I'm just now I'm wondering how often your house cleaner comes to clean your bathroom.
A fast feaster, a runner before a race, he doesn't eat anything. He fasts. He fasts. He's fast. Get it? He fasts. Do you get it?
See ya. So Justin's inching closer as if I'm gonna laugh as he gets closer, and I just can't.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, Alex knows this very well. Alex knows this trick. I do it to him all the time. You should have seen when I snuck in the scroll up Ferda joke when he was in here. It was great.
All right. What's Ferda? I don't know.
Ferda that's the Alex optional thing. There's some Canadian show where they say that, and that's like his things are going well. Like Ferda. Yeah. What's up? That's probably the best explanation anyone's ever gotten of Ferda. Am I right, Alex? It's like if you're playing duty and you get like a 4 kill streak, and then they give you like the homing beacon where you can see where all the other duty players are. Oh, yeah, you do. I forgot. Yeah, I was late today. I didn't tell him. You have to laugh at the dad jokes.
So let's just talk about how everything's working in the setup, right? So
yeah.
This is my first time in the booth. Gigantic TV.
Yeah.
A monitor over here with chat. Another TV, controls, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're watching a chat which takes all the different chats we have, right?
Yeah.
So Twitch and Facebook and maybe others.
Yeah.
It puts it in one screen. But if someone's out there just watching Twitch, they don't see the Facebook chat.
Right.
And vice versa, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, sometimes it's a good thing to remind people. Sometimes you hear us refer or reference something in the chat and you don't see it. That's exactly why, because you're on Twitch and we're talking to someone on Facebook, or you're on Facebook and we're talking to someone on Twitch. 3 players with 2 hearts in their hands. Look at that. Heart, 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 heart.
What are the chances 3 hearts come on the flop?
I've seen it happen. It's possible. There's enough of them. There's enough of them.
There are technically enough, yes.
Yes. In theory, it makes it tougher. Andrew, under the gun, raises 8 deuce.
So when it says that someone's min raising under the gun, let's just assume that it's the straddle.
Yeah.
So I think the action tracker has a hard time with. I don't think there's a button for straddle, right? So if the under the gun made it 20, that's a live straddle in this game.
Excellent point. They do have a button on there. It's just you have to change the whole game. Like you have to make it so that they're playing a 5, 10, 20 game. So like since whenever it's optional, you don't want to put it that way because then you have to undo it whenever somebody decides not to. So yeah, when they're playing a game and the straddle is optional, then it'll come. Josh is exactly right. It'll come across as a under the gun min raise. But also, every once in a while, someone has an 8 deuce of hearts and they under the gun min raise. Like that's
so.
It's allowed.
Actually, let's change the story.
Okay.
For those that are not in Houston and see under the gun min raises with 8 deuce of hearts, and you want to get in this game,
you should definitely get in.
Come to Houston.
What more do you want out of a game than players that under the gun min raise with 8 deuce because it's suited? Welcome to Houston. You've played a fair amount of poker in Houston. I've played a fair amount of poker in Houston. I've seen stranger things than under the gun min raise or the 8 deuce. Lots of action here. We did an $1,100 main event with a $500K guarantee in the last series. Got $1 million in the prize pool, so I went crazy. I made it $1 million guarantee And now I hear people predicting a $2 million prize pool. Like I got a headache just thinking about it. Like that's 2,000 entries that are going to come through here in 4 days.
Yeah.
It's
you
possible.
need a second level.
Yeah,
or something.
no,
Or
don't
you
worry.
need to put a table in here.
Don't you worry. We will. We had some issues with the last one, but there was 2 things. A, there was a lot of people here, which is just going to generally make it tough. But we were still under some pretty strict COVID guidelines where we couldn't have too many people in the building, not just playing. We couldn't have them in here. That's why we had lines going outside. That's why we had people waiting. When you busted, you couldn't just go to the cage to re-enter. You had to go outside and wait in line. There was a lot of things happening that aren't going to be happening that way this time, including the top secret thing that I can't tell you about yet. But it's going to fix some of these problems. It's going to fix it. Always thinking ahead. Don't worry.
I have zero doubt
It's
that you fine folks will get it figured out.
It's gonna be good. We're not gonna have people waiting in long lines, but to that end, if you are ever worried about waiting in long line, you know who didn't have to wait in line at all? The people who played on Wednesday. There was no wait. There was no lines. They just got right in. Anytime we have multi-start dates, Friday and Saturday are the busiest ones. If you know you're gonna play and you can get out here on a Wednesday or Thursday flight, highly recommended.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yes. Love
Okay.
being put on the spot.
I am an out-of-towner.
Okay.
I'm not, but suppose I am.
Yeah.
And I hear you say that. What is my incentive to show up on Wednesday? Like, how do you sweeten my incentive? Right? And then if I do show up on Wednesday, what else do I do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Oh yeah, that's not putting me on the spot. That's text me the secret thing now, says Alex Optional. Okay, so part of what I do when I put together this schedule is I do think of the out-of-towner when they come out here, and I always try and put things on the schedule for you to be able to do if you come out here. So whenever you come out, you're not going to just play a tournament and wait and then have nothing to do. Whether it's the satellites at night that you could play and they just become a survivor for you. You can win $1,100 because you already made day 2. So you're just playing these to win $1,100. I will always allow that. The seats are not transferable and it's never for money unless you have already made day 2. Then whatever seats you have, you can cash them out for cash. Or if you win a seat, then I will pay you in cash. So we have the satellites. We have a cool bounty tournament that you might be familiar with.
I am quite familiar. Had a blast in that one.
Yeah, winner of the last bounty tournament that we did. Pushed the start time back a little bit of that one because learned from our last tournament. It is going to start a little bit later, but we have that bounty tournament on Saturday night that you will be able to play. We have the brand new High Roller tournament. That's on Tuesday. $3,000 buy-in. High Roller tournament.
Music to my ears.
It's depending on the success of that one. I think we're going to bump it up next time. Or at the very least put a big fat guarantee on it. But we have great cash games. When you come out on Wednesday, good news. However many you want to play. You want to play one bullet, you buy in. Nobody had to wait on Wednesday. The second you got here and signed up, you got in your seat. I'm hoping that's going to be the case throughout the entire series, but let's face it. If I get 1,000 players in here, it doesn't matter how well I prepare or how many spots, you're probably going to have to wait. We play to a percentage, so there's no disadvantage to playing in a smaller field. You have to beat the same percentage of players no matter which day you play. So coming in on Wednesday, there's nothing wrong with playing a smaller field. You have to beat the same percentage of players. Since you have to outlast a percentage of players to make the money in any tournament, I think it is the fairest thing to do in a multi-start day to play down to a percentage. You're accomplishing the same thing as everybody who plays on the other day. More important to me than playing a certain amount of time. In fact, imperative that you do it that way to keep things fair. In my opinion. So playing on a Wednesday or Thursday flight, you are going to get in as soon as you get here. You are going to have your seat. You are competing at the same level as everybody else. But you know who else plays on Wednesday? Satellite winners. All the satellite winners we put in on the Wednesdays, and then if they get multiple, we put them in on the Thursdays. And I am not saying by any way, shape, or form that satellite winners are lesser players than the people who buy right in, because they are all valuable, awesome players here at Prime Social. But historically, satellite winners are less experienced. They're playing in a main event because they won a satellite and would not have played it otherwise. Therefore, those fields are, in some opinions, a little softer than the Friday, Saturday fields. So there's less players. They're filled with more, less experienced players. You have to accomplish the same thing. We have things for you to do after you qualify and make day 2, multiple tournaments to play, and you're done. You get to relax for a few days. You get to mentally prepare yourself for day 2 and playing for that potentially $2 million prize pool. How's that for an answer?
It's brilliant.
How's that?
It's brilliant. I'm sold. I'm here.
All right, Wednesday. Get here on Wednesday.
I will play Wednesday for sure.
I'll be here on Wednesday.
How long is registration going to be open?
4.5 hours. It's going to start at 12 o'clock. Registration is going to be open until 4:30. Okay. I don't think registration should go on through a certain percentage of the field. You should not be able to register, play for a couple hours, and then make the money. I don't think that's the way main event should work. So you're going to come in with 30 big blinds. If you max late reg, you are going to be short, but not too short. But there is a certain point where, yes, the amount of blinds you have goes down, but your chances of cashing and the value that you get, like the amount of chips that you get, the dollar value of the amount of chips that you have goes up the later that you let players register. So that's generally true in all tournaments that allow late registration, but there's a point where it becomes too much, in my opinion, and I always cut it off before that. So we're going to get there, but we're going to have to get there naturally. We're going to have 4 starting days, 4.5 hours of reg each day, and I need 1,000 entries to come in here.
Yeah, Justin, as an individual poker player that loves a 20 big blind stack, I love late registration.
Yeah.
I love to max late reg, and I've got to outlast 25 people to cash.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, for the pool, I can appreciate the approach, right? And from a fairness standpoint. So we have a question. How much is the buy-in? So the buy-in is
$1,100
at a chance to win probably $300,000 or more first prize. And I will mention, right? And I don't work for Prime. I'm not an affiliate. I just come and play. For $1,100, 1,000 of that goes to the prize pool. And I don't think you're going to find a lower fee tournament, not in Houston especially, but I don't know if anywhere for $1,100 you're anywhere you're putting $1,000 in the prize pool.
No, only the places that I've run tournaments like this before. I look, the main event players are going to come in. I want to make it affordable. I want to make the tournament presentable enough that I can get it with the quantity of players. I want a whole bunch of players to come in, and that's the gamble on my part as the house, is because a lot of those tournaments, yeah, you could charge more juice and players, they would pay it. But I don't want anyone to not play my tournament because there's too much juice, and I want players to travel, to spend that money on a hotel room or a gas, plane ticket, whatever it takes. I want them to spend that extra money that they're saving so that they can get here, and in hopes that we get enough players here to justify charging less juice, because we get more of them. We get a few hundred more players that are willing to come because it's so affordable. OMG, 9 people who have never heard of Mike Postle.
Oh, crotch theory optimal.
I would bet every player at the table has heard of Mike Postle. Dirty John in the house. About to jump in this game?
I need to borrow a microphone real quick.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, your boy Dirty John has arrived. Hey guys, I got a question for all of you guys, okay? Check this out. If you guys can guess what kind of sweater Justin Hammer is wearing, you will get $100. I'm gonna give you a hint though, to make it easy. It belongs to someone who run a poker page on Facebook. That's all you're gonna get for $100. All right.
Can I guess?
No, you cannot. Ooh, this game is very juicy. I want to be in this game, Justin. I got on the list, but I'm behind. What's up, Alex? Thank you, Arcade Adam, for following. Ladies and gentlemen, I just like to mention that it's an honor to have Josh Burke. Is it Burke? How do you say it? Burkhalter. Yeah, I cannot say. I'm Asian. I have an excuse. I'm a foreigner. Josh Burkhalter in the building to be commentating. I mean, that's great. Alex Optional said, what was the question? Okay, one more time. The question was, what kind of sweater is Justin Hammer wearing? And the hint is, it belongs to a guy who run a poker page on Facebook. That's how you get. If you can get it right, you get $100.
So follow-up question, Dirty. Is it a poker clothing brand? Is that what you'd call it?
Yes.
Is it a motto?
Not a motto.
Okay. All right.
It is a motto. It is a motto.
Is it a motto?
It is a motto. It's a 3-word motto. How about that? It is.
Ooh.
Yeah, a motto on a motto. You're right.
But by the way, I mentioned it when he got into the booth.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned
There
his,
you go.
his
So-
3-stripe pants.
It is 10:36 right now. You guys have 10 minutes. How about that? 10 minutes before somebody called the clock. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I want to see this. Man, Reagan, Brian. We got Andrew. Oh, my God. This is a sick lineup.
So Andrew, I've seen him. I've never played with him. What's he like?
Andrew, he's like a 50-50. He could be a little loose. If he has chips right now, he could be a very loose. No, not poker for breakfast. Not for her. He's a local here in Houston. That's it. That's the only advice. That's the other advice I could give. If you guys want some more, if Josh feels a little bit nice today, he might give you some more hint for $100.
If they're counting on me being nice, no shot. So, did you really go get boba tea?
Yeah, I went to the place that I really liked was closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one place that I really like. It's really good. We got Sung in the building.
Houston Poker Life, decent guess. Not the right answer.
It's close, real close.
So the question is that Justin Hammer, commentating tonight, is wearing a pullover sweater, and it is a poker brand that was created by a local Houston poker guy. And Dirty said he gave a clue. He runs a Facebook poker group in Houston, and it's 3 words. What's the brand of clothing?
3 words.
And this is not Jeopardy, right? You're not supposed to ask us a question.
Koi J.
$100 from Dirty John.
It's a 3-word motto. Nope, not 3Bet Houston. Someone is. I'm not gonna tell you right now. Somebody. Is this Facebook or is this Twitch or is this both?
So it's both.
Wow, Koi J got it. Hey, Koi. That's a very, very good answer. Hey, what's your Cash App, Koi J? I'm going to send it to you right now. Send it.
Maybe give him the phone number to Prime if he wants to call up here and give it to you.
Yeah.
And the address.
No, it's okay. I mean, maybe somebody else will actually give him some more Cash App. So, Koi J, if you have a Cash App, like 97.9 the BOX. I will cash app you $100.
Nice. And with the happy hour and free PLO, play poker for days.
Yes, sir. Come on, Coy. Don't be worried. Whew, your boy Coy got it. Shout out to my boy Antoine from Houston Poker Live. Okay, we got ace-4s. Joseph with ace-4. That is the best hand. I wonder what Chaz have.
All right, we got that cash app. So is that ace-queen in the muck? Ace-queen defeated by ace-4.
Coy Jordan, is that correct? Okay, awesome. Never fold poker, that is correct. Okay, Mr. Coy, your $100 was sent. See that? That was easy. Give me about another 30 minutes. Hopefully Josh can come up with another trivia question. And I will send the next person another $100, okay? So, probably if you guys want to give him a topic or something, this guy is very, very genius when it comes to a lot of great stuff.
Oh, Lord. Way to put me on the spot. Hey, what's up, Coy? I do remember you. I think I played like a donkey, so don't hold that against me. And by the way, you're welcome. I think I might have lost the pot to you.
Look at these, man. They're not even here at Prime Social playing, and they're winning $100. How sweet is that? Oh, man, I really want to be in this game, Josh. 5-5 or 5-10.
5-10. And they've had the 20 on a lot.
Look
I
at
don't
them.
know. Decent lineup. I don't think there's a soft spot, but definitely a playable game. Hammer's been talking about going to get off a fairly large game later tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5,100.
I'm down with that.
Rumor.
I do want 5,100.
Might need you to cash at me a little bit.
Done deal. That's fine.
Just kidding. But Dirty John is definitely generous.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
All right, I want to see a big pot,
this is Jim, right? That's his name,
yeah,
Jim.
Jim.
Okay, so I saw Jim earlier. I played with Jim a lot of times. I really like Jim. I saw Jim earlier. I said, Jim, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I have to go home to my wife. She wants me at home. I said, hey, Jim, I got a game going on at Prime Social. You're going to like it. It's 5-10 with an optional straddle, 20-40. He's like, no, I'm going to go home to my wife. Surely, but I look on live stream and I see Jim already here. I say, whoa, he dropped his wife to be here. You see that? That's how great it is to be here at Prime Social. Oh, look at James picked up an ace-king. Will with the pocket deuce and Antonio with the king-8. Wow. Will 3-bet to 120. Brian most likely going to fold.
What do you?
Reagan raised to 500 with 9-8 suited.
So Reagan 3-bet me in the last Prime main event. I just sat down, tough table. I got Reagan to my left, 3-bets me with ace-9 suited. I've got pocket kings. He flops top 2. Kings are good on that board, right?
It is.
We get it all in because I'm a donkey and a king on the turn.
Oh my God, that's what happened to me. I want to tell you about a hand. Okay, it was so sick. But let's ride this hand. I'm gonna tell you about my hand, a similar hand, but I had a really really nice hand. I wonder. Yep, James gonna check. Reagan's gonna try to look. He's trying to bluff.
I like the small stab on the turn.
And James all in. Yes. Somebody did get it, and I did cash up $100. So it was Coy. Coy got it. So look, now we have Justin back in the booth. Okay. So I'm gonna catch you up. Okay. So I told the people on Twitch and Facebook to give Josh something, because I told him we're gonna do this trivia in the next 10 minutes. Josh is gonna come up with a question, and if somebody answered within that 10 minutes, they're gonna get another $100. Well, they get $100. So hopefully Josh can do it, and then Justin, you're next. Okay, that's what we're doing. Tell your friends to follow us. This is what we're gonna do every single Friday when I'm here, if I'm here. That's the catch.
Where the hell else you gonna be?
I'm gonna be at Prime Social on the table because I want to be in the booth. Let's go. 7801 Westheimer Road. We do have 6 live table going right now, and it's really good. Oh, look at Andrew picking up pocket aces. Of course, race is 75. I mean, I have a feeling he's not going to get any action. James is definitely going to fold. Oh, wow. Wait, did Brian call? Brian did call. Joseph did call too, right?
Yeah, I think the action was a little bit slow. I think that was pre, and then we got to the flop. We have two people going to the turn.
Oh, Drew showed the pocket aces. That's the best hand. Okay, I'm going to be passing the mic back to the real commentator, Mr. Justin Hammer.
Oh, don't worry. You're paying for this, too. All right, I'm back. Dirty John. Look. Koi J, look. You won. You won a hundy. Who is Koi J? Did they see me? I realized that he did that competition, and then I walked out. And there was people watching the stream in the...
Oh, I don't think he saw. He's a Houston guy. And, in fact, we were
okay.
talking about, we were playing a tournament recently together.
Nice. Koi Jordan. Nice. Good for you. Don't get me wrong. I don't care if somebody saw me and they won. Dirty's offering it. He didn't give me any rules.
I mean, I even told them.
You did. No, that's what I liked about it is you said it, and then a couple hours later we do a competition. That just rewards the people that stay in.
That's what they do on the radio, right? It's like
Yeah.
they say something in the first hour, and you have to remember in the second hour.
Absolutely. It's the way it should be. Oh, look at this flop. Nut flush draw for Joe. Gut shot. Now top pair for Reagan.
See, this is where if I'm Joe, I go nuts.
Because you have the flush draw, or because that's a good card to bet on the turn?
No, it's not necessarily a good card to bet. I just have a habit of just going for it.
Yeah. Player of the series, Josh Burkhalter, has a habit of going for it.
Lots of bullets.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Lots of bullets.
YOLO.
Yeah, Haley and I were chatting about that. I do have a tendency to build a stack, and I can give it away too. Not
You know,
always.
those two things frequently go together, believe it or not.
Yeah, there might be correlated.
That's every once in a while I'll see someone play a tournament, and it's like you look at the chip counts, and there is a huge disparity. Like everyone has like 100K, and then the next one's 95, but the chip leader has 250. So like everybody's within like 5 or 10,000. One person just has way about like double the second place player or whatever, and then they're out a couple levels later, and someone's like, they had all those chips. How does that happen? And I say, how do you think they got those chips? Like, that's one of those things where, yeah, some players, that's their strategy, you know, to build a big stack, then go on lockdown, then protect them, you know. But some players, they just got one mode, and it's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But if you can win a lot of chips in a short period of time, that always means that you can lose a lot of chips in a short period of time.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you still need 10 million chips to win the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And so those 300 can't carry you
Right.
far.
Right. Yeah. The very, like, you're not trying to ladder, you're trying to win the tournament.
Yeah.
And especially if it's early, like, what does laddering get you anyway? I mean, moving up a different tier of the non-pay scale, that doesn't help. That doesn't get you anything.
Well, yeah. So for people that are just beginning to play multi-day tournaments, there is a little bit of clout that comes with telling your buddies that you got a bag.
Yeah.
And especially if that bag pays, okay, because they don't always pay. So making day 2 is an accomplishment. But once you've gotten kind of a few of those under your belt, you're trying to build a stack to win a tournament.
Yeah.
At least to finish top. For those that aren't familiar, the money's at the top. So, generally speaking, I'm going to oversimplify this, but first place is around 20% of the prize pool. Second place, a lot of times, is around 12% of the prize pool. So in third place, 5, 6, 7% of the prize pool. So you're really trying to get to the top. After that, you're getting a few of your buy-ins back, but you're not making 50 or 100 extra buy-ins.
Yeah. And my general formula for payouts is when you make the final table, 9th place is 10% of what first place is. And then I try and fill everything in between. So that has to do, the more players that are in a tournament, the more that you're going to pay out. So the smaller percentage that goes to first place. And part of that is because you give a smaller percentage, but the amount keeps going up. So generally speaking, that's what, like you said, it was a generalization, but that's why you prefaced it that way. The smaller tournaments, yeah, about 20% is going to be right. Sometimes you get a play, like I've done tournaments that have, 5,000 entries in them. And those types of things, you can't really give like 25% to first place because there's nothing left. But you can still give them a very large number, a large number of buy-ins, a large amount of money.
Yeah,
but
I would, Justin, for instance, I would be happy with 17% of $1 million main event first prize that you're going to have. So
yeah,
lock me up 170K. I'll take it.
Absolutely, and I think that's almost exactly what it was. The first place was 180,000 for the just over $1 million that we got for the last series that we did. So you almost hit the nail right on the head there.
I might have had a little first place money envy.
Yeah, did. They made a little deal there at the end, but they only played for 20,000. It was still 160 for first. I've been struggling to bag, man. Can't seem to catch any run good in these main events. Let me tell you, I played poker for a decade, and I had results. I had, first places, but, I mean, this isn't my living, so I wasn't doing it as much as, some people do. But I was playing a fair amount of tournaments. I was a player before I got involved in the business side, and I had not found a bag in my entire career. I had won some tournaments, some one-day stuff. I had gone deep in some tournaments, hadn't found one ever. And I would tell people, I would be playing in a tournament, and they'd be like, oh, did you bag? And I'd say, you wouldn't believe this. I have never bagged one time in my entire life. And they would always assume that I was lying. And then I started playing a little bit more, and it was Run It Up Reno, the main event. I bagged for day 2, and that was the first one. I took a picture. I told everybody I did it. Then I went and played some tournaments at the LAPC at Commerce, and I found it became a lot easier. Once you break the seal, then they just come a lot easier. Now I have multiple bags under my belt. I've come back and had some pretty decent results. I got 5th place out of like 900 players at one of the tournaments in LAPC. Sometimes you just got to break that seal. You just got to do it once, and then the other ones become a lot easier. So don't give up. Don't lose faith. It's coming. Keep playing, and eventually you're just going to have one of those days, even if you make some mistakes or you play bad, it's just your day, and the cards will fall in your favor. You're going to put those chips in a bag, and you're going to feel that experience. Probably going to not know how to seal it because it's your first time, but like, don't worry. We'll help.
So I've got 3 follow-up thoughts. Number 1, you mentioned break the seal. I'm going to have to take a break now. They've been giving me beer since I walked in. So,
yeah.
So I'm going to take a break. But real quick, so Coy says, sheesh, I don't feel bad anymore. I've been playing for a year and a half. I think what he's saying is, Justin, he was feeling bad, but you sucked for a long time.
Yeah,
And
good.
So you made him feel
I'm
better.
glad my misery can cheer you up.
No. Kidding aside, I did want to mention just that last hand. Just and I'm not going to be again. I didn't come here to be critical, but I do want to just maybe mention something. So, James had position in that last hand. He's got ace 9. Flop comes ace queen 9, and he's got a player bluffing into him with 2 undercards to the board and a backdoor straight, and a backdoor flush draw. Right. So he's got someone that's betting. He's got a stranglehold on that board. Most likely. And sure, there's some cards that can come off that you're a little bit scared of, but if someone's betting into you and you've got top and bottom pair, you feel pretty good. So he raises to protect his hand, I think, maybe get some value, but he's way far ahead of so much.
Yeah.
I really like a call there, and keep the fish on the hook, right?
Yeah.
So maybe just something to think about. So I'm gonna go break the seal. I will be back, Mr. Hammer.
All right. We'll carry it for a little while. Josh has been carrying us all night long, so we could do it for a little bit. But yeah, to his point, that's one of those things where what are your goals when you're playing in this game? Other than, obviously, like we all want to, make as much money as possible. Sometimes that's a very broad thought on a very specific topic where how do you play this exact hand that you're on? And for some players, they're always trying to extract max value, and in order to do that, you have to leave yourself vulnerable to losing a hand, because getting max value means you're enticing players to call, and anytime you're enticing players to call, you give them a chance of catching up and beating you, right? Sometimes players want to give themselves the least chance of losing any chips at all, so like he said, you protect your hand. You bet big so that someone really shouldn't be calling, or only calling with a good hand that's worse than your super strong hand. I'm one of those that likes to try and extract value. I like to try and go for it, but that also, it puts you in spots to win big pots, and it puts you in spots to lose big pots. So not necessarily anything wrong with betting big to protect your hand, especially in a cash game. As we see, look at that. Everyone's doing shots. Dirty. That must have been Dirty before he came into the booth. Comes right in, gets everyone shots. Look at Lay. Lay's face is like, no, I'm good. Don't worry. I'm good. Got Gerald back there. He would like to be participating in those shots too, I'm pretty sure. But Sung in the house. Coming in with the shot. Looks like Brian took one. Reagan took one. Dirty. Bringing out the shots. Thanks for joining us. We are playing at Prime Social in Houston, Texas, 7801 Westheimer. We're playing 5-10 No Limit Hold'em. It's a cash game. Those chips you see them playing with, those do have real dollar values to them. They are playing with their own money. We do have cash games here 24/7. Every day that doesn't involve Texas getting frozen over, we have cash games here. We have tournaments, have a tournament series coming up, the Prime Summer Series, May 20th through June 6th, including a $1 million main event. It was pretty awesome. We held the record for the biggest tournament in Texas history for about a month and a half. But first, we were the first to get to $1 million. We weren't the last, but we were the first to get to $1 million. Lots of poker spreading here in Texas. Speaking of break the seal, it's what we did. We broke the seal on $1 million. Now there have been 3 that I know of that have gone over $1 million. And we're going to do it again because there's $1 million guaranteed. So even if we don't get enough players, that prize pool is going to be $1 million. So come check it out. End of May, May 20th through June 6th, with the main event going June 2nd through June 6th. That's an $1,100 buy-in. $1 million guarantee. Come check it out. More details at primesocialtx.com. You can also follow me on Twitter. I am the Justin Hammer on Twitter and on Instagram. You can also follow Prime's Social, Prime Social TX, at Prime Social TX. There you go. There was the commercial. There was the Josh is Gone commercial. Kept it going. I kept it going the whole time.
Yeah. So coming back in, you mentioned primesocialtx.com. Is that right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where everyone can follow the chip counts.
That is
and
correct.
The leaderboards and the sweats and all the good stuff that comes with a major series.
And I will tell you that they have been duplicated, right? Some of these tournaments, some of my competitors, they've done big tournaments.
They have to bring in Poker News. They have to outsource.
They do. They bring in others, but you know what? They don't do that. We started here at Prime Social, and to my knowledge, I don't think there's anyone that does it as good as we do it here. We give chip count updates. You can go back. You could check. You want to check the website? Maybe you're not going to be fortunate enough to be able to travel to Houston and play in this tournament. You're listening now, and you're like, I want to know how players are doing. We give the chip count updates for every single player in every single tournament, and we do it once every 2 hours at most. At most. We'll do it more often than that sometimes, but that will be at most. Every 2 hours at most. So let's say you got a buddy and you put him into the tournament and you want to know how he's doing on break. He doesn't have to take a picture. You don't have to take his word for it because we're going to do the updates for you. We're going to put every player, and I'm talking about if they bust, you're going to know that they busted. If they've got 4 big blinds, you're going to know that they have 4 big blinds. We're going to put all the information for every player that played in the tournament. And part of the reason it's necessary to do that for a series like this is because we do have a player of the series, so I want there to be transparency. I want everyone to know exactly where players finish. So if you wanted to and you wanted to check my math and see if I did it wrong, like maybe you think Josh got way too many points and shouldn't have won player of the series, all the results were available online. I think they're still available. I'm not sure, but definitely throughout the length of the entire series, they were available for anyone to go double check and make sure that we were doing it proper.
So I definitely got a screenshot if anyone needs it.
Oh yeah, that's if you ever want to check the result, it's hanging up above Josh's bed. You can see it. You can see it when he lays down at night.
It's in the bathroom. It's on the fridge.
It's right next to the sign that tells him how awesome he is in the mirror. It's all over your house.
Oh my God, I should tell you. So this is how much some of that stuff means to me. So my first event that I won here at Prime was the Jack Stack.
Hell
and
yeah.
We got a money clip.
Yeah.
I lost it 3 days later. With about half of the winnings.
Oh no.
Gone.
That's
So-
not the fun way to lose.
No.
money.
Yeah, I'd rather have a story.
Yeah.
No. So like, I remember distinctly having it on Sunday. And then I had to travel on Tuesday, which was election day, right, that year. So this was last year.
Yeah.
So I had to travel on Tuesday, and I may have left it at home. I may have put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know. But by the time I got somewhere on Wednesday, I thought about it. Didn't have it on me. Couldn't find it. Called airport, whatever. Wasn't there. And then I got home, and I couldn't find it in my normal spots. Like, I have a drop zone.
Yeah.
You know, we all have those places,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Those messes all over the house. I couldn't find it. So either one of my degenerate kids or their friends stole it, or I just dropped it somewhere.
Man,
Yeah.
I kind of hope somebody stole it, because then maybe it's still out there, or maybe they got a few bucks off of it or something. Those money clips were cool. Like we don't do those anymore, but they're cool. Yeah, that's a bad beat.
Yeah.
But you got a couple trophies from the next series, including a player of the series trophies.
Yeah, those are a little harder to steal and lose.
Yeah, good luck.
Those things were big.
I can tell you, I'm not saying you'll for sure keep track of it, but I can tell you, you're not going to think that you dropped it out of your pocket somewhere. Like, it's going to be in a spot where you know, if he gone, he gone.
Yeah, so my cleaning, I had them just stacked up like on the dresser, like waiting to find a place. And the cleaning lady moved the boxes. I was like, shit, did I lose my trophies? But I found them. She put them up in the closet. So
Nice.
They're in the closet.
Yeah, see? Do well enough in the series, you can afford cleaning ladies. They could just move your trophies around for you. Do they dust your trophies for you, too? Just shine them?
She'll do whatever I ask.
Nice. Wow.
Shout out to Pam, if anyone needs a cleaning lady in Southeast Houston.
See that? I hope Pam gets some work from this live stream. Be our good deed for the day. I was surprised by the accuracy. Yeah, we brought Dan. We'll get to your question in 1 second, Coy. We brought Dan the Man from Hold'em Media. He came out. He does our live reporting. You would think that we had a team of individuals running around here with the amount of posts that go up, with the amount of chip counts that go up, but nay, it was just Dan. We had some of our staff that works here at Prime. They chipped in and they helped out a little bit. Shout out to Annalisa, who does a little bit of everything. You saw her doing some action tracking just a little bit ago. She also bartends, runs chips, helps run the updates on our website, and she was the live reporter for a couple days there when Dan got snowed out and couldn't make it in. So other than that, it was pretty much just Dan, who does an awesome job. You'll see him in the commentary when we're doing the live stream. He fact checks. He's my fact checker.
Super nice guy. He was. There was a day, I think, where like Poker Atlas didn't calculate something right. He was apologetic. He wanted the players to like have the perfect experience. It was super cool. Takes a lot of pride in what he does. So I enjoyed Dan, and he's a good follow on Facebook. He's got some funny stuff on there.
He is. He's a good dude, and that's. You want to? I always tell people, like, you do a good job for me. I am loyal to the bone. Dan worked for me in California a long time ago, and then he didn't have much work, obviously, because he reports on poker tournaments. And I don't know if you know this, but 2020 didn't have a whole lot of poker tournaments. So he was on lockdown and wasn't able to make his living, at least not the way that he normally does. So it was awesome to get him out here. We flew him out, and obviously was thoroughly impressed with his work, as always. And he will be back. Don't you worry. He'll be back for the next series. He's our dude. Look, Hold'em Media. We got it right there on the backdrop. Our old backdrop that we need to get a new one for, but we will. Okay, what resources do you guys use for study material or recommend?
I just simply listen to Justin Hammer.
That's a bluff. I can tell you that, right? I check that out right now. That is a bluff. I would recommend Phil Hellmuth Learn Poker from the Pros, or Play Poker Like the Pro. What was that book called?
I'm pretty sure if it's a book, it's probably out of date.
Yeah, okay.
Regardless of who wrote it. I actually don't know.
Play Poker Like the Pros. I think that's what it was called. You're either the elephant.
The jackal and the... He's got some characters.
I don't know. I seriously read that book in like 2004. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
I actually... So, yeah. Like a lot of things, so I had a big brother. I do have an older brother. So growing up, you always want to be like your big brother, but you want to kind of outdo him, right? So he was the first one in the family to play poker. So I'm a 6 or 7 year old kid, and he's hanging out with his buddies on a Friday night playing pennies, nickels, and dimes.
Yeah,
I'm saving up not eating for 3 days, so I can save my lunch money just to go lose, right?
Absolutely.
And by the way, like I learned variance real quick.
Yeah.
Right? So we played in between.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
Oh, ace and ace high and a deuce. Oh, I'm gonna bet everything I got. Boom.
Deuce.
Yeah.
And
they're like, no, you got to pay double.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't have double. They're like, well,
you got to go to there's no table stakes when you're playing for those nickel and dime games.
Yeah.
That's what I realized. I didn't learn what table stakes were until like I had to play forever. It was like when you play those games, whatever it is. If there's 10 in the pot, you got to pay 20 and you only got $5. You got to go to ATM. You got to borrow money. You got to do something. But
yeah, I rewrote out IOUs and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
lots of IOUs.
I was a kid. I mean, my brother covered me, right? But point being is, I wanted to be like my brother, so I wanted to play poker and I wanted to be better, and so I stole that book from him.
Nice.
And he had that book, and I was like, it just seemed silly to me even at the time. I'm like, oh sure, I mean I understand what he's saying, but
yeah,
I have to identify people as animals. It didn't. Yeah, it didn't register for me.
No, okay, but to give a more real answer to Coy, I think there is no substitute for experience. First off, I gotta say that, and I actually saw somebody tweeted to Garrett Adelstein on Twitter the other day. That's the only place you tweet at people, but he asked him a similar question, and that was his answer. Like, people think he's just naturally good, or he's a good player because it was a God-given talent or whatever, and he says, like, I put in my 10,000 hours. Like, I played. I put in the work. I put in the time. Like, I learned to play, and sometimes, like, that type of experience or that type of, like, learning situations just because you've experienced them. So I don't think there's any substitute for that. But in addition, who gets, like, a bad rap for certain things but is really good at explaining poker is Daniel Negreanu. And he has a masterclass that's available. And I like the masterclass stuff just because you can learn a lot about a lot of things that you would like just not otherwise go. And if you pay for one, you could pay for 1 year and you can have all of them for an entire year. So I'm not saying that's the best place to recommend, but that type of thing, if you just want to learn about how to think about poker a little differently or how to think about it in terms of numbers or bigger picture, listen to somebody who plays poker like that and hear how they talk about it.
So I just love Justin. So it's become like a joke, right? Because the ads ran so much for Negreanu's, and you can't just be all loosey-goosey.
You have to understand everything you do conveys information.
You can't be all loosey-goosey eating a sandwich at the table, right? But I actually bought I'd always wanted to get Masterclass just to check it out. We've got an intruder in the booth.
7. Oh, nice. Dirty John coming in. 7 tables running at Prime Social. That's what he was letting us know. Okay, anyway, you bought a masterclass.
And a big one coming later, right? So
yeah,
I bought Masterclass to watch. What does Daniel Negreanu have to share? Because I like his content. When he's not a whiny little vegan,
Yeah. That's fair.
He's not mad at his dog and his keyboard. No, but seriously. So I watched it. I'm like, relevant. Yeah, it's a good foundational thing. It reminds you, like, to kind of stay centered on some thought processes. So someone mentions in the chat Phil Ivey's. Phil Ivey's is not good.
No.
Right? I didn't know what to expect. Phil Ivey, genius, clearly. He's on another level. Phil Ivey, when you're on that level, you can't explain it to other people. So Phil Ivey's is terrible, unfortunately. I think he probably filmed it in 2 hours.
Yeah, and what I noticed about Phil, that's why I mentioned Negreanu specifically, is because, now look, I'm not saying that he has the best advice, and if you follow what he says, you'll become a better poker player. But what I do think happens is you learn to think about it a little bit differently. And that's the kind of thing that you need to do as you are putting in your hours and getting experiences. Like learning how to think about things and calculate just some of the basic math. You're going to become better the more you try to do that. Phil Ivey's is a whole lot of, and you could tell his super genius brain as he's talking. But what it comes across as is sometimes when you're teaching a new person to play, you want to say, like, always raise aces. And then it's like, send them off. And then if they do that, they'll be okay than if they don't. Then if they're always limping or if they pay them back. Yeah, there's times where you want to limp it. There's times where that you want to play it passive. There's times where you want to trap. You don't want to explain all of that at once. You want to take somebody who's new and give them some general advice to take on. And then once you've mastered that, then teach them the next step. Phil Ivey does a whole lot of, you want to raise the button in the spot. Except sometimes you don't because they might do this. But most of the time you do. Except for the times where you don't. But on the times where you don't, then you do. And then it's like, you just hear these circles like, Okay, so what am I supposed to do again?
So it's like watching a Doug Polk YouTube recap of the hand. He's like, okay, you could raise here, which is completely fine, and you could even fold, which is completely fine, or you could call it, which is
Right.
good too, and you could check.
Right. Sometimes you want to check. Sometimes you want to call. Sometimes you want to raise. And sometimes you want to fold.
So good comments coming in. So modern theory of poker, I do agree, is not outdated. So if you want to go more towards the mathematical based, i.e. GTO approach, which I do think, depending on what fields you're playing, like if you're playing your local Houston 1-3 cash game, I think trying to play anywhere close to GTO is a mistake. But it is good to understand a baseline strategy, and then you can decide based on the field and particular players, likely the mistakes they're making, how you want to deviate. So I guess there are thousands and thousands of hours of free poker content and training out there. So for me, my answer to people who ask this question, and I'm by no means an expert, okay, but to me the answer is it doesn't really matter what you study. You need to actively study, right? So you can't passively be, doing a little bit of your computer software programming, but on the side you have a YouTube channel going and consider that study.
Yeah.
Right? So figure out like a mistake that you made or a situation you have a problem with, like you don't know how to play the big blinds versus a button open, or you don't know what you're supposed to do when you're being 3-bet and you're out of position, right? Go find that. There's people that have that out there. Go figure out what some of the top people are saying about that, but then actively think about it, and then go draw your conclusions, and then go test your theories, right? Go to the table, find yourself in those spots, and validate the assumptions you made. And so it's pretty basic stuff, but you got to be active, right? No one's going to give you a course, write a book for you, give you a video, and you're going to be able to translate that into good poker skills without actively understanding what's being communicated and how you need to apply that to your particular player population.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the follow. Silky Slim just jumped in and gave us the follow. Welcome aboard. We're giving poker advice. The player of the series from our last series, that's the person who was just talking right there, so take that for what it's worth. I would say it's worth a lot because clearly he's playing well, but yeah, that's...
I love the comments that are coming in. So upswing poker, elite poker coaching, to me, some of the time it's going a little bit to trust the solver, right? This is the way to play poker. That's kind of how I interpret it. I tend not to be like that myself. And then BBZ poker, I really like Ape Styles. I think he's an absolute crusher. I think that doesn't come across when he streams. Like I think the dude's brilliant, but I think it doesn't translate on stream. But I think his little $99 course is pretty good. I don't think it really matters. Go find something to study, watch. I mean, Jonathan Little puts out daily videos that are very basic. You can tell from the questions his audience gets on YouTube that, I mean, it's pretty rudimentary, but he's trying to teach people that are bad at poker how to be not bad at poker. Ape and Bunga Cat Crush, for sure. Yeah, so my own poker, like, evolution, so I started playing pennies, nickels, and dimes as a kid and getting crushed. And then as a teenager, I was getting crushed. And as a 20-something, I was getting crushed. And as a 30-something, I was getting crushed. I mean, I'm talking like playing in soft, bad games and can't win.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going nuts.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I want to keep playing poker, but I don't want to sink money into something I'm bad at. So I was bad at poker.
Yeah.
Like, based on results. So it was about 2 years ago I said I'm going to stop playing my donkey cash games, and I'm going to play tournaments because I feel like it's a finite, so obviously it's more complex, but it's a finite playing field.
Yeah.
And it's presumably a finite amount of money I could lose. and invest. I should say invest.
No, I mean it is, and that's like a lot of people play tournaments because it is a little bit easier to be organized and disciplined. Like it's sometimes you're playing in a cash game, like whatever you bring, you could lose that in the first couple of hands, and you feel like the game's good and you should keep playing, and then you could just come in and lose way more in a tournament.
I still fire 7 bullets in a tournament too. so but it makes me it interests me because there's so much to learn, right? I can't just mail it in. So what I started doing is mostly playing tournaments and then mostly just studying tournament situations and player tendencies in the fields I play. And I think I've got a decent idea now how to play tournaments and navigate different stages. I still get crushed and I still punt, but I'm probably 500% better than I was a year ago.
Wow.
And a year ago I was 500% better than I was the year before when I started. Like actually, like a couple of hours a week I'll study and
I believe that.
Try to translate things, and so for me it's like, man, anyone can become a good poker player.
Yeah, because I've only known you for about a year, and you played very well in all the tournaments that I've done here. So
I run like God at Prime. I really do. Yeah.
No wonder you like it here.
Yeah, sure.
That's speaking of, you too might run like God at Prime, but you'll never know unless you come check it out. Our summer series, May 20th through June 6th. Come see if you run like a god at Prime Social. May 20th through June 6th, starting with the 200,000 guarantee kickoff event, finishing off with the 1 million guarantee, $1,100 buy-in, no limit hold'em main event. I definitely agree that GTO solver play doesn't translate over to the live scene, especially here in Houston, but I think eventually it'll help improve my overall ability as a player to think through situations. Yeah, that's... And I'm really not a super Daniel fan, but like part of what he says, I listened a lot when he was doing that Doug Polk heads up thing, because that was just very intriguing to hear those guys talk about what was happening from their different perspectives. But part of what he said is the reason you want to learn GTO is not so that you always play GTO. It's so that when you are going to deviate, you know that's what you're doing and why. And the best way for you to understand how, when, why to do that is to understand what it is that you're doing. So it's not learning it just so that you could play like a robot and do that every time. It's to recognize the situations where you should deviate and then why. And that's part of becoming a better player, is learning it so that you can learn how to use it and how to not use it.
Yeah, so all modern poker theory, I think, starts with these games, right? These simple games. And the idea is like, you find it, just so folks that don't know, right? You find a strategy that there's no incentive for you to change your strategy, because if you deviate in either direction, you're going to not break even any longer, right? So you're kind of, that's quote unquote optimal, right? You're going to break even. So if we take a simple game like paper, rock, scissors, right? There's 3 choices. Each of those 3 choices can be beat by another choice, can be tied by another choice, or can lose to another choice. So, if everything's random, you're gonna lose a third, win a third, and tie a third. So if your opponent, if you're GTO, you're doing a third, randomizing. Well, if your opponent's throwing paper the whole time, well then you would think, okay, I'm gonna exploit this guy. I'm gonna throw scissors and I'm gonna get him every time. Well, what you do when you start throwing scissors and they lose 6 in a row, they're gonna change. So you've taught them that they were wrong, and you taught them to change. So you wanna not play GTO, but you wanna find the inflection point. I'm going to use that word for you.
Yeah.
Right before the inflection point, right before they realize that you're taking advantage of them, that you've adjusted, that you're throwing scissors 45% of the time, they don't realize that you're throwing scissors a lot more than you're supposed to. So you want to find that point. And so you don't want to over-deviate from optimal, okay? But you want to deviate enough to take as much advantage as possible without teaching your opponent that they're really screwing up.
Don't play poker with Josh. That's how you get better. You could talk to him about the hands that you did play, because they'll give you some good advice. I don't know. I'm scared to play rock, paper, scissors with Josh now. It's
all random, baby.
It's
variance.
It always reminds me of that Simpsons episode where Lisa and Bart were playing rock, paper, scissors, and like it went into Bart's brain, and he was like, or Lisa was like, Oh, poor Bart. He always throws rock, doesn't know it, and then it goes into Bart's room. He's like, trusty rock, never lets me down. Throws the rock and then loses. Oh, it's great. Simpsons. I'm happy I can say I've never given any chips to Josh. Small sample size, though.
Yes,
Boom.
sit on my left next time. You get all the chips. I forgot we were watching poker. I'm over here looking at the chat, looking at Justin, but we got poker going.
Yeah, no, we had some good. We had queens. We had Jim flopped a set of jacks against a pair in a gut shot. He won a decent pot against ace 10. Broadway board. Look, Dirty's here, so players are getting pizza. That's nice. Bring just one of the perks playing at Prime Social. You might run like God. You might get some free pizza. You never know.
Another shout out to Prime. It is the only poker room in Houston where I can find really good wine.
We do have an excellent wine selection here.
So I had some cake bread Cabernet last time. Compliments of Dirty John, although I probably shouldn't say that because he's not going to give everyone cake bread. But they got Camus, cake bread, they got Prisoner, and they got some other. Again, these are not $1,000 bottles, but they're good wines, right? And like everybody else has got Meiomi, which is trash.
Well, yeah, if you're coming in and you're looking for a $1,000 bottle, I'll bet you Dirty John will find it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we are playing 510 No Limit Hold'em here at Prime Social in Houston, Texas. I'm Justin Hammer. That's Josh Burkhalter. We are here with you for, about another half hour or so. I'm told I might need to get in the box and deal.
So should I get in the game?
Maybe.
Should I get on the list?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That might bring a crashing halt to your run good at Prime Social. I've been known to, how when I got in the booth, how we started getting all those like ace king versus aces and aces versus tens and all those action hands. Like that's kind of it's followed me. I've seen some dirty beats in my career. I dealt my favorite, well, not favorite, but like the most memorable bad beat. I was dealing you play stud. I was dealing a stud tournament at the World Series of Poker. It was a horse tournament, $1,500 horse, but we were on stud high. I dealt quads versus quads, and check this, neither player had a paired up card, had a paired up board. None of their up cards were paired. 4 different cards were visible. Both of them had 4 different cards that were visible, and they both had quads.
That's solid.
So they were both rolled up and then hit the quads on 7th Street.
Yeah. You got to feel good about that.
Yeah. I mean, both those guys are never going to experience that ever again. And I've never seen or heard about it ever since.
So I did get on the waiting list.
Okay, good.
We'll see.
You can do that with I have to be seeing things. It looked like I just saw 2 jacks.
I thought I did too.
Poker Atlas. It's the software we use. That's how Josh was just able to do it. You can go on the app. You can get yourself on the list. You just have to be within 30 miles of Prime Social. You could check out the list from wherever you are. I remember I went to California for Christmas, and I was checking the Poker Atlas to see how the tournaments were going at Prime because I just can never get enough. And you could check it out from wherever you are. It gives you all the information. When you are in the area, you can get yourself on the list. You can check out the games. Let's say you want to get in on one of these live stream games. Every day we post the game that we're about to do for the live stream. You can also email Serena at primesocialtx.com.
A new follower.
Serena, Sarina, at primesocialtx.com. But you can go on Poker Atlas. What I was talking about earlier about doing the chip count updates, that is made possible by Poker Atlas. Their tournament tracking software that we use to run all the tournaments here. Make it very easy for us to get player chip counts into our system and onto Dan's computer so that we can share it with y'all. So shout out to Poker Atlas.
So a couple of comments, questions in the chat. So as an impartial person, Justin, let me take these.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm just a local rec that likes to play all over town wherever the right game is for me, right? So,
and I'm fully biased.
And Justin might be a little biased, although, right, he is objective. Okay, so if you see, so Justin's really active in the local Facebook community, so there's always good debates and topics that come up, and I think Justin keeps his impartiality as well as he can.
I try to be fair. That's how you get people to respect your opinion, is give them honest feedback. So I try to, but I do have a bias.
I'm more like a just bull in a china shop, but anyway, that's my style. But the question is, so first, Prime is the classiest poker room in Houston. So I'm sure Justin and the rest of the team enjoys that. I do enjoy playing here. I do feel safe and comfortable. I do like the staff, and I like the games. Action players come to Prime. Sure. I mean, do other rooms run good games? Sure. I mean, there are good games all over town. It kind of it moves around, and some people are always, some rooms are on top, and then some people switch places. But you can always find good games at Prime. As far as how many places like this in Houston, right? So I'm looking at Poker Atlas within my radius. And there are 5 rooms that have 20 or more tables. All right, so those are the larger rooms. There's 5 in the greater Houston area. Obviously, Prime is one of those. And there's another handful that have between like 10 and 20 tables. So they're nice sized. So those are down towards Galveston, up north to Spring, and almost to the Woodlands, and then out west, just outside the Galleria, west on Westheimer is Prime. And then if you go further west, there's other rooms as well. So a lot of poker. I grew up playing in the underground rooms, where you were a little nervous sometimes to take wads of cash and go home with wads of cash, which if you listen to my story earlier.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
I didn't leave very often with wads of cash.
Yeah.
Top pair's good hand. Lose a lot of money. But no, there's been a poker boom in Houston. $1 million tournaments. Huge cash games. It's pretty sick, right? Sick in a good way. So I've enjoyed it.
We do pride ourselves here on our security. We do have metal detectors that you go through before you go in. Everyone is checked by a wand by our security guard, but they are here for your safety. They are also available. Let's say you aren't like Josh at the beginning of his poker career, and you do have a wad of cash in your pocket. We have security that'll walk you to your car. They will escort you. They are armed. We are in a standalone building that is well lit. We do want you to feel safe when you come play here. That is supposed to be one of the benefits of playing in a well-organized room, is your safety and convenience with a lot of these things. Check this out. Look at Dirty John serving water. Crazy. Usually.
So speaking of Dirty John, so my friend that we've referred to earlier as the Would You Rather girl.
Yes.
So she's a wine snob like me, right? So she's like, I'm going to make friends with Dirty John, then I have a wine sugar daddy.
I have some friends that are wine snobs that I should introduce you. You would. I'm not a drinker, so I can't be a wine snob. Yeah. I'm a nothing snob.
I do enjoy wine. So just today I booked a weekend in Fredericksburg. So Fredericksburg is in the hill country of Texas. A friend of mine's getting married there in November. And so I booked the weekend just today, actually. And, they have 50 or so wineries. And so we're going to do a wine crawl. So I'm really excited about that.
That sounds fun. They call it a crawl because that's what you end up doing at the end of the...
We'll be crawling.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you pictures later. The last time I went out there, I've got friends that are passed out in the back seat. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, yeah. I grew up not too far from Napa in
that's a whole different, that's I've never done Napa, but I want to.
Yeah. Even Temecula down by San Diego. There's some good Lots of good wineries.
Northern Baja, Mexico has really good wine.
Yeah?
From what I hear. Yeah. There's give a shout out. They're not a sponsor, right? Backstreet, which is I think it's the Hugo family of restaurants. So like Xochi, I think is what it's called, next to Marriott Marquis downtown. That whole chain, right? So Sean Beck is their master sommelier at Backstreet, I think it is. Anyway, he has like 20 different Mexican wines on the menu, and so he's always like posting on Facebook, like you call him up, he'll just assemble a case for you, like whatever you tell him what you like, he'll just make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's up?
Sung is in the house. That's how.
You gonna get in this game?
Open ender here for Joseph. Reagan with
And 2 overs.
and 2 overs. That's good and good. Sung just coming back from Florida.
How was that? Was it crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace on the river for Ray. Oh yeah. So
Ray Henson went deep. He. Yeah. Ray Henson was the talk of those Facebook groups. All of them were mentioning Ray's name. I think every single one dropped a Ray's name.
yeah, we had another. Yeah, another Houston guy gets 13th, and then Viet Vo
makes the
is
final
6th.
table.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, there were.
He made it pretty deep.
It was pretty cool as like someone who is in those Facebook groups and you see those guys chatting it up every day to still have 3 of them left when.
Yeah, 3 out of the top 24 or whatever. That was pretty solid. The Houston guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be the one that's speaking of, there's Sung right there. That's why he's not playing in the game. He's taking up the massaging game. He's opening a new business, going around giving 5-10 players a massage. I can only imagine what he's saying right here. It's $2 a minute, Brian.
Yeah, when you
It's
run
$2
bad, that's how you make your money. You get your bankroll back.
It's $2 a minute. Is that good? That's usually how they get me. They come up and they give the little like 5-second freebie. Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting comments about the flop and the hole cards not coming up. So I played 2 weeks ago on Final Table on the stream. Hole cards were working great. Last week I watched the stream. Everything was great. So yeah, tricky night, right? For whatever reason.
I did learn recently. So these cards, they are Faded Spade. A buddy of mine, Tom Whedon, he owns the company, but
He's in town, by the way.
he is in town. Yeah, he also went deep in that tournament. He's a nice guy. He's a good friend of mine. He has these RFID cards. What I have learned since getting them is, unfortunately, they were sitting around for a long time because of COVID. He has them, and nobody was buying them because there weren't any tournaments. And when they sit around and they aren't active, there's chips in there. So it's the same thing as like if you have a computer that you don't use for a long time, like it doesn't stay quite as sharp. It doesn't work the same. So some of these cards, like the chip got, it's Faded Spade. They got faded a little bit, but we do have a brand new set of cards that are coming. They should be here any day now, but we will have them for sure for the next series. And I think that's going to fix some of these problems that we have with the cards not reading properly. So it's we are going to have new decks. We are going to have so well aware of the problems with these cards, and we're making do. But part of the reason we do these cash games is, to give everyone a chance to, see what's going on here at Prime, give people a chance to play on these games on a live stream. A lot of people have never gotten to play on a live stream before, but it's also to work out some of the kinks before we get to these final tables that we're going to do. Sung's asking if we're going to use the feature table or use the live stream table as a feature table during the series. I don't know. We've done it in the past as like cash games on days where we don't have final tables. I'm still not sure how I feel about doing feature tables.
Yeah.
What do you-
So you got a famous pro in town that's playing your tournament. Do you want to put them on the feature table? I think personally, I think it's cool, right, from a brand recognition. But I think as far as gameplay goes, especially if you pause for certain action on the feature table, I think it's not fair relative to the speed of the game at other tables. So that would be my concern.
Yeah, and that's what I had heard complaints from players where they didn't like the fact that the player, especially if you're letting, phones out or people can see or whatever, if you've got 5 tables left in a tournament and it's the last 5 tables of a big tournament, there's players that can play at their table and watch the other table and see how you're playing, but they can't do the same thing for you. So it creates this, I mean, I don't even know if it's an advantage, but I try to keep the amount of information that everyone has available
Consistent.
right,
fair,
and
yeah.
equal. So the reason I've always been hesitant about it and that I don't like is I don't want somebody to be able to watch your play with hole cards and then get to a table with you and get to play later,
Yep.
and you don't have the ability to do the same thing against them.
I agree. Yeah, so you're talking in these major events, right? Registration's ending 4 or 5 hours after beginning. Okay, so presumably not 9 or 10 hours. Yeah, as
Most of them during the series are 3.5. By the way, most of them are 3.5.
so point being is there's going to be an opportunity to run nice cash games with the field that's just busted, and there's nothing better than a cash game with players that just busted.
Trying to get it back. Oh yeah.
So I think you still have content. By the way, I'm glad Dirty's moving because Prime Social's not empty right now, but the angle was looking like a bunch of tables. So there's tables on the other end of the end of the room, right? So
No, it's a busy night. Poker is alive and well in Houston, Texas, and that's I walked out there a couple times since I've been here. As we see Serena walking around, looking for her next cocktail. No, but I walked by. I saw some tables. I saw some people I haven't seen in a while. Gave some high fives, some bro hugs, some how's it going, and there is action. There's cocktails flowing. There's lots of laughing. There's lots of talking. It is a social club, and right now out there it feels like a social club, and it's a there's a guy wandering around in Run Good gear, and he is offering shots for someone to take with him. But yeah, that's right. You come out here, you have a good time. There they are, opening the next table.
all right, so we got 6-7 raising, quite large under the gun. I like it. Let's see what Andrew does now. Ace Queen. He looks like he's going to raise it. Is that 175? 180? So sometimes people, like with Ace Queen suited in position, some people will flat, but given that the opener raised kind of large, sometimes you like to go ahead and take the pot now. Ches is having none of that.
Yeah. Nice little suited connector. Andrew flops a flush draw here. See, since I've been doing some studying like we talked about, I don't think that's a good flop for 6-7 hearts.
That's pretty bad flop for 6-7 hearts.
Yeah.
But if you think about ranges, the 3-better is more likely to have larger pairs, so an uncapped range, as they say. So there's different theories, right? But people do believe that the person that called the 3-bet will often have more suited cards, so more likely to have a flush draw. So you definitely want to bet. Ace high can be good a lot. And then you have the flush draw, right? So they can still have some flush draws in range, but they're probably not going to have much else, right? Their pairs are, sixes through jacks or queens are really challenged when that king comes out. It's always good to just bet and take a pocket, right?
Serena bringing more shots. Look at that. Yeah, see, that's how you could tell Josh is a good poker player. Like when I look at it, I have ace queen of diamonds, king deuce deuce with 2 diamonds. My thought process is, holy shit, I have a flush draw. And then I bet. Shots always a sign of good, friendly game. That is true.
So I did play with Andrew. Andrew likes to mix it up a little bit. Brian's obviously going to 3-bet the aces. I think Andrew's got an easy call here. In position, take a flop. Wow. Okay. He just didn't like the sizing, I guess. Maybe Brian gave him the stare down? I mean, we know Brian will 3-bet with 4-6 of clubs. So
that is true.
Folding sevens right there seems a little tight. But sometimes you just know.
Sometimes you just know.
Andrew did mention to me last week this was the biggest game he ever played in.
Really?
So he's in there. And he did well last week, I think. In there taking some shots.
It's generally a sign of someone who is willing to come back. Actually, I played in this game a couple times. Just if I'm in this game, it's because I am trying to help get it going. Sometimes we have a lot of times we will have 10, 15, 20 players that want to play in the game, but we have to start the game off 4 or 5-handed because sometimes players just need to see the game going before they want to sit down and play it. Yeah. So I've done it a couple times where I sit down in this game just because I am trying to help get it going. And it's the biggest game I've ever played. I've never played higher than 5-10. 5-10. But with that in mind, the first time I sat down and played, I was under the gun, came in for the straddle.
So I'm a little confused. I think Jim was under the gun and straddled. And then Joseph flatted with ace-9. Totally fine, I guess. And then Jim just checked his option.
That can't be right. So what happened on the...
There's green chips in the pot, so there must have been a bet and a call. Yeah, so
okay.
Looks like the action tracker's a little bit behind, a little laggy today.
We were having a little bit of problems with the action tracker earlier. That's what you see Lay disappear a few times and come back here. It's because it was laggy. But again, it's one of those things. These are the type of kinks that we are working out before we get to the summer series. So see, look at that.
Yeah, Jim's going to come in with. I think this is going to be his third street of betting. Hey, Ace King's a good hand. It could be good. Do you think you're going to get called by a weaker ace? Maybe. But I think Jim's going to get credit for having a big hand here and get it folded. So maybe he thinks he's bluffing, but he's bluffing with the best hand.
Yeah, nice play there. Again, we are playing in Houston, Texas at Prime Social, Houston's premier social club, offering cash games daily. We have tournaments running every single day. Lots of free rolls into our $1,100 buy-in, $1 million guarantee main event. Now, free rolls mean that you can get into the tournament without paying. Well, hold on. Let me change that. Our definition of free roll means that you can get into the tournament without paying a single dollar. There are rebuys. There's a dealer add-on right when you come in, and there's $20 add-on. So it's going to give you a better chance of winning the seat if you do at least the add-on and the dealer add-on, which would be $40 total. But there are players that come in and they fire multiple rebuys. You know, you can be in for $100, but you can get in for free, and you have a fighting chance. You get 5,000 chips. You're playing 100, 200. So you come in with 25 bigs if you pay $0. But just full disclosure, it is a free roll. But there's also $20 rebuys. But we run those 3 times a week. Winner, it's a guaranteed seat into our main event. That's an $1,100 guaranteed prize pool, $1,100 seat into a $1 million guarantee. So you could, in theory, win a few $100,000 off of $0. Here at Prime Social, we're running those tournaments 3 days a week. We also have tournaments that are a buy-in, $140 buy-in, $100 rebuys, $5K guarantee. Those are happening the other 4 days of the week. Daily tournaments here at Prime Social, all leading up into our summer series. Over 1.8 million in guarantees over 18 days. 16 different events. Lots of satellites for $180 to $200 into that main event. Those are running daily. We have nice plate of mixed events. TOE tournament, Triple Draw Omaha, Stud 8 or better, Horse Omaha, all kinds of good mixed events, as well as plenty of No Limit Hold'em tournaments. Again, you can see that whole schedule, primesocialtx.com, or check us out on Poker Atlas. Lots of good stuff coming up here at Prime Social.
So I'm a fan of prop bets.
I also like prop bets.
So maybe just a thought experiment.
Let's do it.
16 events
Yes.
for the summer series.
Mm-hmm.
What would you put the over-under at most final tables for a single player? Playing all 16 events, assuming. Ooh, look at this juicy flop. Oh, we missed it. Open-ended and a flush draw.
Oh, that is juicy.
Hopefully they won the pot.
That's juicy. That's kind of stuff that my dreams are made of. Open-ended, straight flush draw. Oh, yeah.
Well, it wasn't a straight flush draw. It was a straight and a flush draw.
Straight and a flush
I mean,
draw.
who's counting, right?
Yeah. As long as I could say all those words together, it's good. They don't. I think, like, the person that makes the most final tables, right?
Yeah.
Like, not what an average person would do.
Yeah.
I think he could do 4.
4 would be the high number. So would you set the line at 4 or 4.5? Or 3.5?
I would set the line at 3.5.
Okay.
It's got to be close. The true line has to be like 3 or 3.5, where you get that.
And let's clarify, right? Some events are small, and there might be only like 6 places paid.
Yeah.
So we would count like the paying places on the final table.
Yeah.
3.5 seems reasonable.
And I think, like, assuming that there's going to be players that fire everything, like there's going to be mixed players that could play all the games well. There's the no limit tournaments during the week. Like, you could final table a couple of those. I won't say easily, but it's doable. And then final tabling at least one of the mixed events. And then you could do that twice with the no limit events. And then just doing one of the big events, making a final table. That's obviously the hardest one to do, but still doable, as you're well aware.
Yeah, 4 would be hard.
It would be hard, yeah.
pretty solid.
I couldn't do it. How many final tables did you have in the last one?
Just 3.
Just 3.
Yeah.
And you won player of the series. So maybe 4's high.
We missed a few events last time.
Okay.
And I didn't play. Oh, I did play one mixed game, but I literally have never played most of the games before.
Did you play horse?
That might have been the one.
Did Jimmy and Josh do well?
I don't know.
Jimmy Chips, who was in here earlier, he got second place in the horse tournament.
Okay.
And it wasn't the standard tournament. You are allowed to play the tournaments if you work here, so it's not uncommon to see staff playing in the tournaments. But we had a lot of people scheduled to work, and then we had a gigantic freeze, so there weren't a lot of jobs that needed to be done. So there were, and look, during that freeze, most people couldn't get anywhere, but a lot of people, they either had vehicles that could travel in those conditions, or they lived close enough that it wasn't that difficult for them to get here. So we did have a few people. Plus, we had some players that traveled and they were staying at the hotel down the street. And I mean, what are those guys supposed to do?
Right.
Just sit in a hotel with no. So we had players here, and so the show must go on. We still ran those tournaments. But the horse tournament, yeah, I'm just trying to shit all over their accomplishment because Josh won the tournament and Jimmy Chips got second place. But yeah, I got I don't want to put an asterisk on the win. I want to put 3 asterisks on the win. That's what I'm trying to do here. It's just there's a lot of he won, but
No, I totally get it. Now, look, I mean, anytime you can make money in a poker tournament and certainly win the thing, it's an accomplishment.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I kind of personally I have a goal to come back and win in a full series with a full group of players who don't have to deal with crisis at home. Like I was fortunate, right? I think we lost water for 2 days, power for a day, but it's I could get here. Roads were fine. I could play every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an asterisk for sure.
There's at least one.
Yeah, it was
least.
it's like a strike. It's like when 1994 Jeff Bagwell, local Houston guy, right, wins the MVP. Had a banner year, but he only played 90 games, right?
Yeah.
There's an asterisk there. He didn't play the whole season.
For sure.
All right, so we got King 8 and Jack 8 both hitting top pair. One was the straddle. Ace King raises 3x. And then the big blind call. So they got to think the 8's good, right? Let's battle, but King 8 does take it down. We haven't seen that many juicy hands tonight. Nobody's gone nuts.
They came out the gate with but I mean, they were cooler spots. They were, or not cooler, but just big hands. Players with big hands. Ace King versus Queens and 10s versus Aces.
Yeah, they're all playing okay. I guess I maybe want to go play PLO tonight.
Yeah.
I might want to go gamble a little bit.
I think I'm going to do that too. We're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. But don't forget about the summer series. Oh, there we go. There's some kings. I've also got a new project that I'm working on, a online poker variant that you could check out if you want. I'm a piece of it. It's, the fun never stops. It's always got to be...
Is that the name of it?
Always got to be where... No, that's actually what they call the gambling problem, when the fun stops. That's what they call it in Vegas. It is deliopoker.com. Check it out. Sign up for the mailing list. It is a Zoom-like version of online poker. It's something that we are going to be unveiling here in Texas pretty soon.
Is Barry Greenstein
Barry
involved
Greenstein,
in that?
yeah.
I did see him.
He is an ambassador.
about
He
that.
he is a contributor. I talk to him regularly. He's excited about it. He is a poker celebrity, poker superstar. Yeah, there we
Now
go.
we're doing something.
Now it's like the poker gods have to hear you say it. They have to. There's not enough action. Oh, okay. How about we get a 3-bet with 5-6 of clubs?
I wish the sizing. So the cutoff raising with King. Obviously, you're going to 4-bet. I like a smaller sizing. Reagan can have so many hands. You do want to see a flop with him. You want him to connect a little bit, right? I like a smaller sizing. This is a huge 4-bet. But he's going to get it. All right. What do I know?
What is he? Oh yeah.
He's calling.
Okay. Oh, now.
So they're pretty, they're all, so stack to pot ratio, a little more than one effective. So 125% pot bet gets us all in, right? So this is What is? Oh, okay. Yeah. So kings feel good. 6-5. So this is a board where you have a lock on the board, right? You've got an over pair. Don't need a lot of protection. You have the backup with the king of spades. You don't need a bet big. All right. I love a check here. Because you know that Reagan will get out of line on the turn. But again, there's nothing wrong with taking a pot. Right?
Yeah.
So,
He did bet relatively small though. It was 800 pre, and he did down bet. It was 600.
yeah, 600 into 1.7K. Yeah, a little more than 1/3. I mean, that's fairly small. I'm with you.
Look at that room back there. Beautiful. Song walking around looking for someone to drink with. Prime Social in Houston, Texas. Again, we got cash games daily. We do a seat rental. That's how we play poker here. We don't take any rake. Nothing comes out of the pot. You pay an hourly to be able to rent your seat. For most of the no-limit games, it's $12 an hour. PLO is $6 an hour. Free if you're playing 5-5-10. It's the current rates. As they are at Prime Social. It's a great way to play poker. And in compared to a lot of the places around the country, it is one of the cheaper ways to play poker. So we see all players miss. 10 deuce deuce. Nobody has a spade. Nobody has a pair. Joseph with the ace high. As we begin to wrap up this live stream. Appreciate y'all joining us, staying with us here, watching this live stream. Stick with us as we end this stream here. Not right now, but shortly. We're going to do a raid. Where we hang out and go to another stream. Going to wait till Josh gets back before we do that. Oh, do Michael. Is that long car? He's back.
I'm back. Justin.
Yes.
John wants to give away another $100.
He wants to give away another hundy.
So I was supposed to come up with a trivia question.
Oh.
So here it is.
Okay.
$100
$100.
in the next 5 minutes
5 minutes.
for whoever guesses. What did Dirty John just buy into the 1-3 no limit game for? What stack did he start with?
Okay.
Closest guess in the next 5 minutes. 1-3 no limit. Hold'em. Dirty John buys in for what amount?
Producer Josh is in here. He doesn't get a guess because he ran him his chips, so he knows the answer. Okay. I'll help the viewers out. It's 100 minimum, 1,000 maximum. Generally, in today's game, that might not necessarily be the case. Generally, it's a 1,000 max. In theory. Throw your guesses in the chat. Dirty John will send you a Hyundai if you are the closest. All right, I'm going to guess. I'm going to tell him that I got it right. Get myself a Hyundai. Look at Leia getting herself comfy. Shout out to Leia. She's been doing a good job with this action tracking.
She is on the ball. So was he born with the name producer,
Yeah.
or did y'all add that later?
No. It's producer.
Josh.
Yeah. Producer Josh, and then his last name. First name producer. They were going to call him PJ. Producer Josh.
He doesn't look like a PJ.
He doesn't look like a PJ.
You ever see people and you well,
Yeah.
Okay, so we all talk to people, right? And then you see them and you're like, wow, I had that so wrong.
Yeah.
You're like, people's names.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok like thing. I don't know if it's viral, but I get it. It's someone driving around and just yelling out someone's name. They're like just hoping that they get it right. And when they get it right, they're like, "You're really Andrew?" Yeah, I'm really Andrew. You know, it's kind of funny.
That's fun. That would be fun to do. Some of these TikToks, I could watch it and I'm like, man, I would totally want to do that. And I'm like, nah, I couldn't. That's
Like what?
like that. Like that would be super. Like I hear that and I'm like, that would be so cool to drive around until I found somebody. Because you would eventually, like
so
you
which
have
TikTok would you do? Like, would you do the bus it dance?
to. No, those I do all the time. Yeah, those. Yeah, those I can nail. No, I have a TikTok. I've ticked some talks. I've
okay.
talked a little ticks.
What is
ticks
it,
a little
what's it
talks.
called when you do one? You tweet on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you tick or you talk or you?
I don't know. You talk the tick. You could tick the talk, but do you talk the tick? No, I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I'm kind of old, so I really don't know.
The people that do those crazy, like they throw ping pong balls into the like cans that barely fit one ping pong ball or whatever, like
Feels fake.
they do. Well, I mean, like a lot of times you could see the 100 ping pong balls like on the floor, like they've tried it a whole
It
bunch.
feels
of
like a
times.
cover story.
But
Still feels fake.
Oh yeah, it could be a cover story. I like the ones that not only like they'll hit a basketball with a baseball bat and it'll go in or whatever, like the stuff like that, but like where they talk before they do it, like they talk at the camera and then they turn around and do it, because you know that they've done the same thing as some of those other guys. They did it 50 times, but they had to go through that entire speech every single time before they, like those ones.
I don't know if you know this, but you can edit the videos.
Don't
You
there,
can
it's not edited.
splice them and mash.
Yeah, but you could tell when it's edited. You
Okay.
could tell.
I don't know.
You could tell. And I'm sticking to that. I want to believe that they just do that speech 50 times.
Okay.
It might be willful ignorance.
Moon landing. Real or not real? Are the videos and pictures real or not?
The next one or the last one?
You think there'll be another one?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think we'll go to the moon?
Because it's Elon Musk. Like, he's got to
he-
go put a Dogecoin on the
But
moon.
He's got a bigger. He's going to Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm bad at directions. Is the moon,
Well,
Is it on the way to
changes.
Mars?
It changes.
but you can time it so that it's on the way to Mars, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's where you stop.
So
You
they'll
land.
drop a load
Yeah.
on the moon. And, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
I mean,
go.
so flying a Tesla.
Drop a Doge. He's going to
He's gonna
drop a
drop a
Doge.
Doge.
Yeah. Like,
You know, I think they're virtual though. So I actually, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
We don't all know how. None of us know how crypto works. Apparently.
no, I totally get it. I am a crypto savant. I totally am. So like, there's this dog, right? And it runs around and it makes like 14 million coins every single day. Like I don't know if it like poops them out or if it sheds from its. What's going on here?
I'm confused.
Oh, that board's not right. Look at the actual.
Okay.
So the
Interesting.
flush-
So
The Jack 7 of diamonds flopped a flush draw, and it looks like he turned a pair and a straight flush draw. Josue had... So those cards are not in the right order on here. It's 5-4 deuce with 2 diamonds. So the Jack 7 flopped a flush draw.
yeah,
The action went away, but I think it went in on the turn, right?
yeah.
So
And then one pair of gutter and a backdoor flush. I mean, it's interesting to get all that money in there. I like it. We were just talking about it not getting out of line. I think that's a little bit out of line, but I like it.
the poker gods heard.
I mean, best hand the whole way probably won. So.
That's true. Wow. And just like that. Josue?
I think they knew we were about to wrap up.
I think that's it too. Yeah, they didn't want to end it on like a, check type of hand. So there you go.
So unfortunately, Dirty's going to keep $100. I don't think we got
We didn't get a guess.
a guess. Is that a bad sign?
No, that's just a sign that it's at the end of the night. I think they want us to jump in and play a game ourselves. All right, that was the last. Oh no, she's still there. It wasn't the last. I mean, we saw Lay in here not too long ago, so we know. I'm thinking of playing some Pot Limit Omaha.
I'm going to play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, whichever game has the most chips on it, I'm going to play.
I don't.
I have an early morning, so I'm not going to play long. I have a registration into a large tournament that's going on tomorrow.
Oh.
And this is my last chance.
There's
I've-
other places running tournaments.
Yeah,
right here?
yeah.
Huh.
Prime doesn't have a big one this weekend, so I did decide to play
Okay,
somewhere else.
that's fair. No, that's fair. We can give them a little bit of love. They Champions is doing $1 million guarantee. It's going to smash. If you are someone looking to play in a $1,300 tournament, I'm not gonna lie, that's where I would be if I was gonna play.
Well,
But
I'm not gonna lie. If you haven't decided to play yet, So
I gotta be out of town on Sunday night, so I wouldn't be able to keep playing if I did well.
yeah,
And
if you're out there listening to us, yeah, it might be too late to sign up, right? So they've
well, I mean, too late. That's very relative because
So-
registration's open for.
so registration is open for tomorrow. We currently have 356 people registered for tomorrow.
Wow.
So we're gonna start the day with about 75 alternatives,
Wow.
alternates, whatever you call it.
They're both alternative alternates.
So yeah, if you show up before 10 a.m., you could probably get on the list and play tomorrow. But I'd say if you show up after 11, you're screwed.
Yeah. Definitely get yourself in early or just be prepared to play short. I mean, natural late registration brought you in with 12.5 big. So, I mean, I bet you can get in with more than that if you sign up.
Yeah, but I think if you get there by noon, you might be up 200 deep.
Yeah.
Which,
Good.
I don't know. Could they get 600 entries tomorrow? I don't know. That's a stretch.
They could
That's
get
an interesting
600.
thing, right? Like people realize that, okay, this stack now, not only do I have like the value of this stack in my tournament life, but if I bust, I may not get to play again.
Yeah.
Like I might have to go sit outside on the picnic table for a while.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks because that costs you entries when you do a tournament like that.
Yeah.
When players know that they can't get back in, they play different. So, like, that's not to mention the fact that the players that you can't get in, they can't play, they can't bust. It's costing you entries.
Because when the Saturday event, the last series you guys had, I think the field played different.
Yeah.
As a whole, the
Yeah.
field played different on that Saturday because the queue was so long.
That's the problem that we are fixing. So bear with us. Bear with us. Come play. It'll be an amazing tournament.
Well, I just went and played the bounty and won it. So
That's true. If you do bust, you could win the bounty instead. Just get an extra, 10, 15,000.
So the lady that I think she got third, but she had first place money in bounty. She had 18 bounties. I was playing with her the other day, and she's a riot, man. She's from Midland. I think her and her husband or significant other.
Yeah.
I don't mean to assume things, but
Yeah.
they are involved in Kojak up there in like
Okay.
Midland and Lubbock
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever. She's just down here just gambling, having a good time.
Good for her.
And so she ran up and had like a $1.4 million stack in this main event.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
And bagged?
1.2 or 1.4.
Oh, I think I
something
saw
like
that.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Stinson or something.
Shout out to Drake. He bagged a big stack.
Big stack.
Yeah, I saw that. Darren Elias. He's a good dude. He's out there playing. He bagged a big stack.
Brenda Hinton. is
Good
her
luck,
name.
Brenda. Good luck.
Yeah, Darren Elias is a freaking crusher.
He is. Yeah, you want to learn like what you could do to get better? Just ask Darren what he did, and then do that.
Make hands, overbet river, get called.
Yeah.
Like, he's the master at it.
Man, I was in Jacksonville for the Best Bet tournament because my buddy Jesse works out there, and Darren was there, and we had this night. Things just escalated quickly. They had these vases in the lobby, and everybody was out drinking, and then we all had like our beers and our caps, and like somebody bet like $100 that you could chuck the cap into this vase, and that's how it started. By the end of the night, there was like 10 of us, and we're all like, you can't shoot until everyone has their bets down, and then it's like tossing, and by the end of the night, we're tossing for like $1,000. These just beer caps into the thing, and then everyone's hammered, and we must have played for like 5 hours, but Darren was there, and man, that guy's just a hustler. I don't know how you practice tossing bottle caps into these vases, but the dude he was cash money. He nailed it. He's just crushed my soul. I don't even want to talk about how much money I lost that night drinking beers and throwing bottle caps into vases, but it was a fun night. But he was at the final table, so like he's out there throwing caps with us till like 5, 6 in the morning, and then went to bed, woke up, and he went and played the final table. Didn't win it, but I think he got.
He's won enough other things.
Yeah. But just a nice dude. Great poker player. Nice guy.
Yeah, never met him. Hopefully I'll meet him on the final table on Monday.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
He's doing Above the Felt with Tom Wheaton, the same guy that did the cards we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Tom also had to pivot. COVID caused a lot of pivots. He was one of those, had to pivot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Matt Berkey and the Solve for Why group, and I really like watching their podcasts. Even Christian Chin is a goofball, and I like him a lot. And Berkey's been friends with Tom for a while, and he's had him on the vlog. And they kind of talked about how he's had to pivot, and they talked even before Tom decided to go this direction with this, poker marketing business, right? Like they talked about how there's no coordination. Like poker players are basically contractors on their own, doing their own thing, and they're beholden to the industry. Yeah. Right? And they don't have representation, and they're not banding together, and they're more fighting against each other for airtime and whatever. And so, Tom decided it looks like to create like a marketing firm and like branding. And, Lone Star Poker Series obviously hired them on, brought in some pros into town, and curious to see where that all goes. Not with the Lone Star Series necessarily, but like with Tom and Darren Elias and Moneymaker signed on. He's a big name, obviously. Yeah. See where they go with this. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I
demand lower fees from tournament directors.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck getting a lower fee from me.
Or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I could drop off my firstborn. You can have that before I do it. Okay.
Do you have kids, Justin?
I have 2 kids. Yeah.
How old?
10 and 9.
Okay. Cool. Boy, girl. What's the
2
deal?
boys.
All right. Are they similar or very different?
They are. Man, it's both. I see a lot of things that are. They look incredibly different. Like it's sometimes people aren't convinced that they're both mine or that they're both my wife's, but they are in fact both ours. Jake loves school. He loves to read. He loves to learn. Cade does not love school. He's the opposite. He likes to not go to school. He's always trying to find excuses to not have to go, but they both very much love video games. They have a great sense of humor. They got it from their father. But
so they know dad jokes already?
They do. They actually they roll their eyes they roll their eyes at me and my dad jokes. Sometimes before I can even say them. We went to a movie in the bathrooms there. The urinals in the bathroom, they block off the middle ones. So because the COVID thing, they don't want any. So I said, "Hey boys, we're social peeing." And they just roll their eyes. So then when we went back and saw another movie like a month later, and I was like, hey Jake, and he just rolled his eyes and said, "Oh, we're social peeing." Oh.
So do you watch those guys? I'm sure they're on TikTok, but I see them on Facebook where they're the pun guys. They go to the grocery store and make puns out of all the products. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's two dudes. They're hilarious.
It sounds like my cup of tea, though.
Like, I feel like you've been studying these guys.
No. There's actually, I get a lot of my dad jokes. There is this guy on TikTok, and he makes me laugh every time because before he tells the punchline, he always calls his son a dummy. But like, it's a hypothetical. He's not saying it to his face. He said, "My son asked me the other day," or "I asked my son the other day." He did the runner's joke because he was like, what does a runner eat before a race? And my son said, "Fast food." And I said, "No, dummy. That would give them the runs." But every time he says dummy in this hypothetical, it makes me laugh.
Okay, they're called the pun guys. Super amazing. Follow. You got to follow these guys.
Super punny.
They are very funny. I mean, they started doing puns. They branched out. They're entrepreneurs, right? But you got to find their original grocery store puns. All right, looks like this might be the last hand. Bomb pot, can't see the board. Action tracker is wigging out. Decent sized pot brewing. We got an all in. Now we got an all in and a fold. I see a lot of paint on the bottom.
Yeah. Fortunately, without the action tracking,
we're gonna chop it up.
The glare, the camera doesn't change, so we're stuck on that glare.
I'm gonna talk to Dirty. Take that $100 he saved tonight and buy a high definition wide angle lens.
Yeah, do it
to go right above the table.
Okay, we are gonna get a new camera before this next series for sure.
So PokerGo, whatever they're using works really well.
Yeah, they're using Maury. Maury has infinity dollars, so he's got all the best.
Fair enough.
Maury.
I heard John does pretty good though. He just posted on Facebook about hitting a mint with Doge.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know if he got rid of it though. He might have.
Yeah. Otherwise, he might not have as much.
Yeah, he might have rode that roller coaster both ways. All right. Yeah. Lay is done. Action tracking is done. Josh, thanks for coming, man.
This was a blast.
Yeah, we're gonna get you back in here for sure.
Well, I don't know. I feel like a starving unpaid intern. So.
No, you don't. You have to do it. It's just like it's part of your paying the karma forward. That's how you keep your run good. You do some commentary in the booth, and you don't even have to laugh at my dad jokes. It's not required.
Well, I gave you some study material, so maybe you'll be a little better next time.
Absolutely. I did. I just followed them right now, the pun guys. All right. This is Justin Hammer for Josh Burkhalter and Prime Social. If you want to follow Burkhalter _Josh on Twitter.
Oh, I don't know if I have a follower yet.
I follow you, so you gotta have at least one. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheJustinHammer. Follow all of Prime Social's Twitter, PrimeSocialTX.com. If you want to check out the cool project I'm working on, online poker, DelioPoker.com. It's still up and coming, but you can get your name on the email list, and we'll get you information as it comes out. But for all of us here at Prime Social, this is Justin Hammer saying